Deadpool and Wolverine is the best Deadpool movie.
Agree.
But it's not better than Logan.
Disagree.
Robert Downey Jr. is perfect for Dr. Doom.
Agree.
Cassandra Nova could solo the Justice League.
Agree.
And last but not least, Deadpool is Marvel Jesus, and the MCU is back. All right. Welcome to Only Comics. I'm Mike. This is Adrian.
What up?
Also known as Fun with Mike and Adrian. Here we are.
That's it. Another beautiful day in New England, man.
That's it, dude. It is nice out. Nothing that was beautiful, Adrian, was Deadpool and Wolverine.
It was. We'll get into it, man.
We're going to get into our deep dive.
One of the best movies I've seen in probably 20 years.
Oh, my God.
Dude.
Talk about fun. That's the most fun I've had in a movie theater
right.
as long as I can remember, honestly. You know, I've seen it twice already since. It's crazy. It dropped Thursday. Right. I saw you at the movie theater.
Yep. So you went in like I went in with The Matrix when it first came. I just like at the same day I went back like twice.
Yes.
And then I went back another day, and then this dude was like, "Oh, you're back again?" But I'm there with my wife. And my wife's looking at me like, "Who'd you come here with?"
Right.
I'm like, "Dude, would you shut the fuck up?"
Man, a little Usher always ruins something,
right?
But yeah, dude, I'm like trying to not go back a third time. Like, dude, it was just that much fun, and we will get into that later. So there will be a point in this podcast where there'll be spoilers throughout. So just matter of fact, there's just going to be spoilers. So if you've not seen the movie, you might want to, it pains me to say this, you might not want to watch this because there's going to be a lot of this sprinkled in.
Well, still subscribe on your way to watching the movie. But
right. Exactly. And tell them Only Comics sent you.
That's it.
So, dude, a lot happening in the comic book world this week. Well, a lot of Marvel stuff. Mm-hmm. Didn't see a lot of DC. Right. Okay, I saw DC.
That's typical?
It's typical. They came out with a new logo, so they showcased the logo. Marvel announced like 5 movies, directors, all kinds of shit.
Right.
DC's like, yo, look at this new logo we made.
Wow.
So, and people say like, you guys are DC haters. I didn't make them not do anything. It's not, I'm just calling it like it is.
Hey, they are meditating on what's next for their universe, I guess.
I think so. I'll tell you who's not meditating is Marvel. Dude, I'm going to make a statement, and, I think Marvel's back, dude. I think the MCU is back. I think Deadpool Wolverine is the kind of course correction they needed. And everything I've seen this weekend, we're going to talk about news and rumors from the big old San Diego comic convention, for the most part is a lot better than I expected, put that way. So,
well, with every major change, there's typically a messiah involved, right? Oh, yeah. And so since we have Marvel Jesus.
We do.
I agree. They seem to be back.
Yes, Marvel Jesus. He sacrificed himself for us, So anyways, San Diego Comic-Con, biggest comic convention in the world now. We talked a lot about Hall H last week, where a lot of big things were announced. Marvel was there twice this week. They were there Thursday for the Deadpool Wolverine release. Pretty cool. So now, I was giving them shit about spoiling the X-23 reveal.
Right.
The reason they spoiled it was Daphne Keane wanted to go to the premiere, so they didn't want her to show up at the premiere, and everyone like, oh shit, she's actually in the movie, so they spoiled it for that reason. Oh, okay. So whatever, Daphne, hey, she did a good enough job in the movie. Sure. It's all's forgiven, right? But they were at Hall H Thursday. Like I said, Deadpool Wolverine. They showed the movie to everyone at the Comic-Con. So, Ryan Reynolds, Hugh Jackman, Sean Levy, they're up there talking about the movie, and they're just like, I think we should show everybody this. So they actually put the movie on the big screen.
Nice.
Played it for everyone, then brought out the cast, so there wasn't any spoilers. So that's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool. You show up to a place and you get something unexpected like that, that's pretty cool.
Because people there are probably thinking, I can't go see the movie right now because I'm at this, Comic-Con, because it dropped at the same time. So, yeah, nice little gift. But that's not the big news. The big news is Saturday night at Hall H, there was some huge announcements, Adrian. Okay, there was Fantastic Four announcement. There was some footage shown, which we'll get into. There was, but the big announcement is something that I think proves a point that you made a long time ago here. You said that they're listening. They being Kevin Feige, Marvel, right? The Russo brothers, the duo that brought us Winter Soldier, Civil War, Infinity War, Endgame. We've been telling them for a long time, just bring them back.
Bring them back.
Because all these other directors, outside of Sean Levy, who directed Deadpool and Wolverine, for the most part, they've been fucking shit up. Let's be honest. Right? I mean, so we're like, just bring back what works.
Exactly.
So, dude, not yesterday, but Saturday night, Kevin Feige's on stage. They're talking about the next 2 Avengers movies. Everyone's wondering, Kang, what's going on with that? Well, no more Kang Dynasty. They brought out the Russo brothers. They're directing Secret Wars. Mm-hmm. But before that, they're going to be directing an Avengers movie called Avengers Doomsday. Nice. Now, here's the part where I don't know if you'll think this is nice.
So not like DC Superman's Nemesis Doomsday,
right?
But some other kind of Doomsday.
Correct.
Got it.
Now, they said that Russo brothers, they were on stage, and I don't know which one's which, but they were talking.
Sure.
And they talked about how Secret Wars, basically the character most needed for Secret Wars is Dr. Doom.
Sure.
I mean, we've read both versions, and Doom is a heavy presence in both of those.
Correct.
And they said we can't do Secret Wars without Doom. Mm-hmm. So we are going to direct another Avengers movie, that precedes Secret Wars that focuses on Doom called Avengers Doomsday. Then they bring all these Doom, lookalikes out on stage. The whole stage goes green. Really cool for the people there. Mm-hmm. And they allude to the fact that there's only one actor that can play Doom. And my man makes his debut. Now, I will say there was a rumor last week about this individual playing a variant of a past character that turns into Doom. But that's not what was said here. Mm-hmm. Russo brothers said Victor Von Doom will be played by, and then Tony Stark, well, that's not his real name.
Right.
Robert Downey Jr. comes out on stage, takes off the mask, does the same pose he does when the bomb blows up in Iron Man, and it's like now he's on the other side of it. Dude, Robert Downey Jr. playing Victor Von Doom in Doomsday and Secret Wars, directed by Russo brothers. I'm all in, dude. How do you feel? You don't look as excited.
Inside, I'm excited.
Yeah, okay.
But my thoughts go like this. One, this immediately puts him at the 2-limit rule.
Yes.
Which is fine because he's older.
Right.
He's probably going to play this for like 10 years. He'll probably knock this one out the park too.
Yep.
So I'm cool with it. Number one. Number two, I agree based on the existing, existing being what I've seen. The existing actor pool, Robert Downey Jr. is the man to play Victor Von Doom.
Okay.
So I do agree with that. I also like the third part is I also like that they're gonna kind of roll him out in Avengers Doomsday before he gets into Infinity War.
Right.
So I'm all in on Secret Wars. So I'm all in on all of that.
Okay.
Now, the only other thing that I would say is, based on the fact that we've read both versions of Secret Wars is, well, Doom isn't the only person that's integral to the success of Secret Wars.
Correct.
So, they need to bring my man Molecule Man out somewhere. So, we need to dig him up from somewhere.
Yeah, I guess it boils down to how comic accurate they're going to be, right? Because they could change shit, which we've seen. But if it's anything like either versions, I agree. You need Molecule Man. And he needs to be he can't just be anyone, right? Like, y'all need to find something. Like, you guys found Robert Downey Jr. for Doom. I mean, I thank God that it's not going to be a Tony Stark variant. And I know that there's a comic where, like, Tony turns into, like, Superior Iron Man or something.
Yeah,
I get it, but like you said last week, they've not perfected Doom yet. Mm-hmm. Let's forget about Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man and just let him be Doom and perfect Doom. And I was thinking what's cool about the MCU is it's been around so long that Robert Downey Jr. aged to play this other, like he was Tony Stark for years, young when he started, and now he's like, I'd say too old to play Tony Stark.
Right.
Like, I don't want to see a 60-year-old Tony Stark.
Right. Like, we don't want to see a 90-year-old Blade.
Exactly.
That kind of thing.
But it's funny, this universe has been around long enough for an actor to age to the point where he could play a different role, and it would make sense. Like, and I hope they stay true to that. This needs to be Victor Von Doom, not a Tony Stark variant that turned into Doom. Right. And this is one hell of a way to forget about Jonathan Majors and Kang.
Right. Well, this is true.
I mean, because honest, like, you're like Robert Downey. As much as I'm like, hey, recast him, Kang.
Yeah.
If Robert Downey Jr. is playing Doom, I don't give a fuck about the Kang story.
Right. Well, nobody gives a fuck about the Kang story anyway until they brought it up. Right. So Kang was basically an unknown. Yeah. Just like the High Evolutionary was basically an unknown. Yep. Just like even the Guardians of the Galaxy were unknowns. Yes. It was It was the big ticket items. Yeah. Captain America, Iron Man. Those kind of people, right? The Hulk, Spider-Man. Mm-hmm. So all these other people came up as a result of, the big screen. But Doom has always been in the background, always just an awesome character. I mean, come on. Every time I think about him, I think about him riding up to his team on a grizzly or polar bear, in the Antarctic or some shit, wherever he was. Yep. But this is I think that, if Robert Downey Jr. does, and I think he will, as well with Doom as he did with Iron Man, dude, it's gonna be one of those things. We're gonna be sitting back saying, well, he was the perfect character for X.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's gonna knock it out of the park. I think, and it's funny, he was in that movie Oppenheimer. Oppenheimer. I've not seen it yet.
I haven't either.
But he plays, I guess, more of a villain-esque character in that, which is very different than the Tony Stark character. And I think we get caught up in, he was a great Tony Stark. Robert Downey Jr. is a great actor. Right. That's one character he's had some great movies. So I think he's going to knock this thing out of the park. Now, Dr. Doom's how would you describe his personality in the comics? I'm not as big into Doom as you are.
Doom is highly intelligent, highly evolved, highly manipulative, highly calculative. I mean, everything that he does is precisely in line with what he's trying to accomplish. His, learning magic and developing that, learning or stealing or developing technology, integrating magic with the technology, the money, he's a monarch in Latveria, but his people love him because they know that he protects them.
Got it.
So he's that dual role character where he's like, he can be evil when he needs to be evil. Well, he's never really evil. He's always focused. We'll call it that, right?
Kind of walks that line, right?
Right. So he's always doing things with a purpose, but he brings everybody that he loves, which is his people, along with him. Right. So I do agree that probably Robert Downey Jr. is the only person that's on the landscape today that could pull that off.
Yeah, dude, I can't wait. And when you're describing him, it really sounds like a Thanos level of villain from just where he's kind of sits presence in the high presence, and also kind of motives. Like Thanos, depending on where you are in the universe, you may agree with Thanos, right? He's not saying I need to wipe out everyone. He's like, I just want to wipe out half, and so if you're kind of on his side, you're like, hey, dude, I'm with it, right. I think the best villains are ones where you can kind of understand their plight to an extent.
Sure. High evolutionary? No. Just psychotic.
Right. You're just insane, dude. Right. Yeah, no one's falling like, I kind of get what he's trying to do. No. Everyone's like, yo, fuck that guy. Right. So Russo brothers will direct. Robert Downey Jr. starring as Dr. Doom. Doomsday is going to be released May of 2026. So, less than 2 years away, which we learned with Deadpool Wolverine. Dude, it flies by. Right. I feel like this movie was just announced and I've already seen it twice. Crazy. The Fantastic Four and the Thunderbolts will appear in both movies. Okay. And and there's more news on those, which seems like they're turning both of these movies into something interesting. Robert Downey Jr., when he took the mask off, he says, new mask, same task. What can I tell you? I like playing complicated characters. Nice. Which, I think that the one of the main reasons why I'm excited for this, aside from the fact that he's such a great actor, you can tell he's a big fan of these characters, right? And he gets the character. It's not just I'm going to dress up and play a comic character and make some money. To him, this is important, right? Someone said like
Brie Larson.
Yeah, they said he went out, got his Oscar, and now he came right back to Marvel. Right. So hey, kudos to good job to Marvel for knowing to pivot and not being stubborn. Kind of like the days in the past, like when these movie producers, they just did what they wanted to do. Right. I feel like they're listening to the fans a lot more.
Right. And us.
And us, mostly us.
But this also talks about redemption. Yeah. Right? Because they couldn't even get insurance for this cat. Right. When he first came on the scene. He had to have other people, convince other people to even cast him, right? And now look at this later, right? Assume the assumption is he's going to be perfect in the Doom role. Yeah. But let's assume perfect variations of comic book characters. Got an Academy Award or something, a Tony or something.
Yeah.
For Oppenheimer.
Oscar
for Oppenheimer. So talk about redemption, right?
Yep.
So, and I understand, some people, they get a second chance and they'll shit all over you.
Yeah, sure.
But then, some people, they don't.
Right.
And they just, go beyond what even you thought was possible. So
right.
Kudos to him.
Yeah, absolutely. So, 2026 will be here before you know it. So, and based off of what we just saw with Deadpool Wolverine, it's cool actually being excited to see Marvel movies again.
Right.
Instead of like, oh, we got to see this fucking movie. Right. Shit, is where I felt with some. Like, it's like,
Yeah.
Like where you're really trying to make it, good.
Right. But also, I mean, I like the fact you said that the Thunderbolts and
Fantastic Four
is going to be woven into
both.
Into both. Yeah, so I like that too, because what happens is, just because that's how Iron Man became bigger, Captain America became bigger, and Spider-Man became bigger, because not only did they have their own shows,
right,
but they were woven into these other shows, which kept them relevant and fresh, things like that. So instead of, you put out something in 2000 and then 2010, well, who is this guy?
Right,
that kind of thing.
It's like, I feel like the Thunderbolts and the Fantastic Four are going to be the Guardians of the Galaxy equivalent to this saga. Like, remember, the Guardians had their own couple movies,
right,
but they were an integral part to Infinity War and Endgame, and they, crossed paths with the Avengers and connected. I feel like they're going to do that with Thunderbolts and mainly the Fantastic Four, because they're here from Earth, but they're more cosmic type, heroes. Not to the extent of the Guardians, but a lot more than the Avengers. Right. So I agree. I think it's great to see that they're, and that's the thing why, a lot of fans were in a panic. We don't know where it's going yet. Dude, just give them some time.
Right.
There was a point in time in the first, the Infinity Saga, we had no idea where they were going.
Right. And I still don't know who the Thunderbolts are.
Right.
In my mind, the Thunderbolts is that cartoon characters TV show that came on when I was a kid, So I'm excited more about, again, because I don't know who the Thunderbolts are. I'm more excited about the fact that they're going to be woven into all these other stories, which makes them complex but more interesting. You know?
Absolutely. Next up, DC. They did release a new trailer this week for Batman Caped Crusader.
Okay.
Very
soon.
soon.
August 1 or something like that?
Yeah, August 1st.
Okay.
I still don't know if it's, weekly episodes or all dropping at once, but I got some news that I'm not a big fan of. So in the trailer, they show the Penguin in this series. Okay. And the Penguin, they changed the gender of Penguin. Penguin's now female in this for some strange reason. And my thing, like, you don't think they should have no, if you want to have female characters, Batman has plenty of awesome female villains.
Right.
So when they do shit like this, I just go, why?
Dude, I don't even want to talk about it anymore. This is bullshit.
Like, no idea why. Just bring out Poison Ivy. Bring out Catwoman. Bring out you got Harley Quinn in there already. You don't need to take. So, that being said, I mean, I'm still. It's definitely lowered my excitement for this series.
Wow. So the artist is changed.
Yep.
The characters, Harley Quinn is something else other than Joker's psychologist, right?
Yeah, she's like some psycho.
Right. And now they're gonna have come on, dude.
Yeah, and it looks just like the Penguin. Like, it's just, it literally makes no sense. And I'm even trying, like, is there something storyline wise? But no. So. Anyways.
Well, maybe Penguin got old, and this is the daughter of Penguin. Like X-23 is the daughter of Wolverine or something. That's ridiculous, dude.
But speaking of the Penguin, good Penguin news. The Penguin show is set to debut on Max on September 19th, so we finally got a date. They did drop a new trailer this past week, and it shows Ozzy kind of going to war with Sofia Falcone. Mm-hmm. So Carmine Falcone was killed in The Batman. Right. We've seen Sofia in comics like The Long Halloween and whatnot. Sure. Sophia's always been a character that I think, there you go, female villain that is actually really cool, that doesn't get a lot of shine. Now, in the show Gotham, she was featured a decent amount.
Right.
But everything I see about this series looks amazing.
Okay.
I'm looking forward to this, so...
This Colin Farrell, right?
Yes. Yep.
No, so every once in a while, these actors that you used to see, like every other weekend, they were like the what's the cat? Kevin Hart of their day, right? Like in everything. And then they just disappear. Right. And Colin Farrell was one of those cats where like, what happened to him? But then he shows up talking about redemption. I didn't even know until you told me that it was Colin Farrell because I don't look at, who plays who. I didn't know it was Colin Farrell until you told me. But he just pulled a penguin off. My God, that was an amazing job that he did. So kudos to him, man.
Yep. Fantastic Four news, Adrian. They showed some footage of this movie at the Comic-Con. Not a trailer. It was just like some rough footage that they shot. This movie, they also have a new title for it, The Fantastic Four, First Steps. There's rumors that we'll meet Franklin and Valeria Richards in this movie. So
that's funny when you said First Steps. I was like, oh, what are they going to do? Introduce Franklin? I should have said that out loud.
See, dude? They're watching right now, so if you tell them not to, I think they won't. Right. But this movie takes place in an alternate reality, New York City, and it's set in like a retro future 60s. It almost looks like Jetson-esque. They showed on stage, they had a backdrop of the city. Looks like New York, but there's like some type of maybe sky rail and futuristic-looking buildings, but it takes place in the 60s.
Okay.
Real cool aesthetic. They showed, what's the Fantastic Four's car, that Fantastic car?
Yep, Fantastic car, which was in Wolverine Deadpool, right?
So we saw there at Hall H, when they were talking about this, they flew in a Fantastic car right over the audience, right past the screen. Really cool.
Nice.
So and one of the big things about the footage that everyone seems to really be high on is the fact that we got a glimpse of Galactus. Now it was a building with windows that had a reflection of Galactus' face, and Galactus was massive, and it was a cosmic entity, if you will, but it reminded me a little bit in a good way. You know how when we talk about the Eternals and how bad it is, but the Celestials, the way they looked, they were done right in that movie. Like they were massive. Galactus is on that level.
Okay.
And you see his face through these window, and like his eyes as big as one fucking window.
Right.
So everything I see about this and hear about it looks amazing.
I'm curious about the retro look though. I'm curious about the alternate universe and the look, and then the future of that, because then if it's an alternate universe, where's the MCU crossover, things like that.
Yeah.
So it just sounds like they're gonna make it more complicated than it needs to be. Definitely a better representation of Galactus, because Galactus can be 8 foot or he could be planet size.
Correct.
So it just depends. That's hot.
Yeah, that's the car. You see what I mean about the city? It's like, it looks like New York, but it doesn't,
Well, you got like a little Seattle in the back.
Yeah.
All the arches and stuff looks a little futuresque.
Yeah.
So it's almost like what they thought the future would be in 1960.
Correct.
So that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So, what we know about this movie so far is Pedro Pascal will be playing Reed Richards, Vanessa Kirby playing Sue Storm. She was in the Hobbs and Shaw movie. You ever seen that?
Yeah.
She's
what's this? Shaw's sister,
the blonde chick. Yep. Who actually, she looked like she kind of bulked up for this movie. I saw her I'm like, you look like your arms are bigger than Pedro Pascal's.
Sue's pretty badass. Yeah. Man. Sue Richards, she's pretty badass.
I think she can pull it off, dude. Joseph Quinn from Stranger Things is playing Human Torch. I think he'll do pretty good. And
which one is that? The glasses?
He's the one in the last season, the guitar player.
Okay.
Oh, you didn't see that? No. Okay. But he did great in that. And he's a younger guy, funny, kind of dorky in a way. Like, I think he'd fit, Johnny Storm. And then Ebon Moss-Bachrach, I have no idea who that is playing the Thing. Which you said before anyone could play. I could play the Thing. Just throw some rocks on me or something. Julia Gardner is playing Shala Baal, Silver Surfer. So I guess the female Silver Surfer.
Oh my God.
Yep. So for some reason, we go back to that. But all in all, this thing's looking pretty good. And to your point, I love that they're going to weave them into these other two movies.
Sure.
And it's perfect for Secret Wars because the premise of the 2015 are you have those two universes, or an incursion happening between two universes.
Right.
So it could very well be this Fantastic Four universe from the 60s clashing with the new Marvel. Or it could be, I mean, they don't do it exactly like the comics. So you could have a few universes collide. Right. You still have the Fox universe that you could, I mean, I know we'll talk about that later. Sure. But that could collide with, so who the hell knows?
Right. In the original Secret Wars, it was the Beyonder, I think.
Yep.
And he took, well, let's talk about the version 2 of Secret Wars, where Doom and Molecule Man, they took the best of multiple universes and formed a single universe, which took parts of their universes. Right. So they kind of like mashed up a planet.
Yeah.
With, if you can imagine, like state lines,
just like chunks of
universes, universal lines and stuff. So yeah, they could definitely pull that off.
Yeah. Yep. So like I said, Fantastic Four, everything we've heard about it, looking good. Next up, the boys. So the boys were at, even the damn boys were at San Diego Comic-Con, really? Dropping news and shit, and cool. DC was at home making a fucking logo. Cool. So the boys prequel. I mean, I call like I see it, Adrian. Right? Vought Rising, a new prequel series, has been announced for the boys universe.
Another one?
Yep, another prequel. Now this one, I didn't ever finish the other one, Gen V or whatever.
I didn't either. It just got ridiculous. I couldn't watch it. Is that gonna go into another season? Or
I think just that one's going to another season. But that's not what this is. Vought Rising takes place in the 50s, and the two lead characters for this will be Soldier Boy and Stormfront. So this is going to be about the beginning of Vought, and so I hearing that, I'm with it. Okay. Soldier Boy is one of my favorite characters in the boy. He's hilarious. Homelander's kind of dad, right, if you will. And then Stormfront is just a straight up, like, she's a cunt. Like, there's no way else to describe her.
Wait, that's the Nazi chick?
Yes. Oh, okay. Yes.
Wait, isn't she like immortal or something?
Well, it's not. No, remember she got fried and burnt and she actually died? Oh, she died on the table after she lost all her limbs. But anyway, so those two, Soldier Boy and Stormfront, started a lot of, I guess, what we see today in the boys. So they're going to show their beginning, which I think will be cool.
Okay. I don't know. It's like the Walking Dead episodes. I mean, you start splitting this thing out into all these other variants, and it just gets diluted, I'll say.
Peter Safran, he is the co-CEO of DC Studios with your boy James Gunn. Everyone's asking because they're working on the Superman movie. We've seen a lot of set photos. We've seen your boy David Cornsweet. We've seen some stuff that looked cool, some stuff that didn't. And this movie is going to be released next year, 7/11/25, right? So we saw Fantastic Four is also going to be released next July. They had a presence there. Everyone is wondering why there was no Superman presence at the San Diego Comic-Con this year. Movie's a year out.
It's not even a year out, right?
Yeah, less than a year.
Like, so where's the goods?
Well, I got the perfect answer for you. So Peter Safran, Adrian, says Superman wasn't at the San Diego Comic-Con because it's too soon. It's too soon.
Well, I mean, that's a reason, right? Yeah, it's simple enough.
Dude, the movie's like 11 months away. What do you mean? When are you gonna show us something? The week before it comes out, So I just that's more in there just for our own humor, I guess. But it's too soon to show us anything.
Watch, I bet they moved the date back.
Yeah, they're gonna have to. So Giancarlo Esposito, Adrian, he's in Captain America: Brave New World. We've seen him in the trailer.
Right.
No one knows who the hell he's going to be yet.
Right. I was going to ask, what is that character anyway?
I got an answer for you. It's funny you ask. Right. It's funny you ask. Now, he actually said recently that, because they watch everything. Sure. He said that no one has guessed it correctly yet. That's what he says. And I can see why, because I've never heard of this character. He's going to be playing Sidewinder, who is the king of the Serpent Society. Does any of that ring a bell to you?
Yeah.
Oh, you do? Okay.
But he's a different Sidewinder than I remember.
Yeah.
But I've heard of him.
Okay.
You're right. No one would have guessed that.
No.
Because it looks nothing like the comic rendition of.
No, because in the comic he kind of looks like a serpent, right? Like he's a creature or something.
The crown or something. If I remember him correctly, he has like a gold crown and a green suit and all this other kind of stuff. So no.
So
nobody would have guessed that.
No. So I mean, that's cool. It's when they can take a potential hidden gem, if you will, right? Someone that
that's not a hidden gem to me. That's it's a hidden. It would be like, okay, so we got the Silver Surfer, and now we're gonna make him female, but then let's make the female the hidden gem. No, the person never existed until now.
Okay,
right?
So that's who he is, Captain America, Brave New World. Now, they released another trailer, and they didn't release it. They showed it at the Comic-Con. So what typically happens, if you've not seen news about these Comic-Cons in the past, San Diego, they'll debut a lot of trailers there for the audience, but we won't see them for like weeks. They're like, it ain't on YouTube right now. Now, the beauty of social media is if you really want to see them, there's a video of just about everything I talked about on TikTok somewhere. Right. So I've seen a lot of, I saw the Robert Downey Jr. video thanks to the TikTok viewers that posted that. So they did show a new clip. Clip has President Ross transforming into the Red Hulk right in front of the White House. Before that, he does become the president. I think in the trailer we show him running for he talks about the discovery of Tiamat, the Celestial, in the Indian Ocean. He also several countries rush to try to mine this for and they find out that it's made of adamantium, who Ross then presents to the people. So they find the adamantium. That's going to be part of this plot. I'm thinking that we saw the trailer where Captain Falcon is, like you said, cutting through freaking jets and shit. Right. I would assume he's got a adamantium upgrade to his suit. And in this Ross talks about wanting to make Captain America a military position again. Because if you remember, Captain America originally was a soldier. Right. And Sam is kind of like, I hear you, but what happens if, we don't agree on what, we want it, am I going to be stuck just taking orders, doing shit I don't want to do? Right. So they can, what was shown of this movie, the feedback online says that it really feels like Winter Soldier, a more grounded type movie. And so everything I've seen about this since the announcement, I'm looking forward to this movie.
Sure. I actually heard the audio.
Oh, you did?
On the trailer. And then I forget why, but then he blurts out, Steve Rogers.
Yes.
Well, of course you're not a Steve Rogers in any aspect.
Correct.
You shouldn't be, Steve Rogers. Yep. But the thing that makes you not a Steve Rogers is the absence of the super soldier serum. So it doesn't matter what suit upgrades he gets. He's still prone to exhaustion. He's still prone to injury. Yep. He's still prone to a lot of things that the original Captain America was not. Right. So unless I see that upgrade, I simply can't accept this Captain Falcon variant. So.
Got it. Yeah. But now, would that stop you from enjoying the movie?
No, not at all.
You're just
all.
like this.
I'll just be sitting there wondering why the math doesn't work out.
Gotcha.
Why is this guy flying through, jet planes and stuff, and not get injured because his whole face is exposed. Assuming that the rest of the suit is adamantium, vibranium mix, or whatever the hell it is, right? Right. You still got some body parts that's exposed. How is that not getting caught up in the debris? So I'm just going to be sitting there, analyzing the math.
Right. Yeah, it's not like he's got the Iron Man suit where it covers his whole body or something.
Right.
Or
the Magneto condom, surrounding his body at all times or whatever.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I would like to see him take the serum, and I know we probably won't because maybe the whole Disney is taking drugs type shit. I don't know. Who knows? But I read a comic where, or I read in one of the comics when Sam actually becomes a super soldier as he needs a blood transfusion or something from Steve Wilson and then Steve Rogers. Right. Steve Wilson. I mean, that's what they're making, right?
Right. But, Steve Wilson. That's what they made.
But that's how he gets it, I guess, in one comic. But now Cap in this universe is, dead or aged or whatever. So that's out of the question.
Well, not really. I mean, he's aged. That doesn't mean that the super soldier serum isn't in him already.
Yeah.
I mean, because the super soldier serum doesn't make you immortal. It might slow your aging a little bit.
No, but I think he's dead in this universe.
Oh, okay.
Maybe. I can't remember. I've only watched the Captain Winter Soldier show once, so I don't remember exact, but I thought they alluded to the fact that he was dead.
Captain Falcon, Captain Winter Soldier.
You know,
it's all becoming a blur.
It really is, dude. I think after this movie, I'll have it figured out. Right? You know, there's a scene where Isaiah Bradley, the original Black Captain America from the show, the old man that they
yeah.
So he's back and he's under mind control, similar to Bucky. There's a scene where, because he also is a super soldier, even though he's old and retired.
Okay, there's your blood transfusion right there.
Yep. Oh shit! Look at that.
I'm just saying.
There we go. I mean, it's a movie, so they may just like rub arms and, but silly shit like
bump
that.
Bump each other. Yeah. Do a fist bump and then
my God, yeah.
Super soldier serum. Whatever.
But there's the scene in the White House where he starts like losing his shit, throwing fucking people around, and then Sam is like, "Yo, Isaiah," like he's shocked to see. So there's some type of mind control going on there. So, I mean, again, everything I see about this, I'm looking forward to it. Thunderbolts. So we talked about this a little bit earlier. They're going to tie into Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars. They showed a sneak peek of this movie. This also has been compared to Winter Soldier. The tagline is, "Careful who you assemble." And in some of the shots, Yelena, Black Widow's sister, right? She visits Red Guardian's apartment. That's the father in the Black Widow movie. And tells him her only reason to live is to kill others. And they encounter the other Thunderbolts, Bucky, John Walker, who is the agent, U.S. agent, right?
Right.
Ghost, and Taskmaster, only to discover that they've all been assigned the same mission. So someone basically, it sounds like, convinced all of these guys to kill each other to get rid of them.
Right.
So maybe they figure that out. I think it's your girl, Fontaine.
Yep.
And I'm assuming they figure it out and maybe form some type of team against whoever is plotting against them.
Right.
But from what they say, it feels really grounded, and they also compared this to the Cap Winter Soldier. So it seems like they're going back to what worked in the first.
Sure.
And kind of matching that tone. It's going to be a whole new movie, but I'm cool. I'd love to see more of this grounded, because we're going to see all the crazy shit in Secret Wars.
Right.
It's kind of like, let us have a little bit of this that will lead to that. So both these movies I'm much higher on than I was when I first heard about them.
Well, I tell you what, after seeing Wolverine and Deadpool, because one of my big thing was that it's going to be like a lot of cameos and there's going to be a lot of people in here. How do they, make this happen without, people stumbling over people and stuff? And they did a great job in Wolverine and Deadpool. So I'm looking forward to these movies going forward, even though they sound complicated. But if they put that that special sauce on these movies like they did on Deadpool, Wolverine, meaning the mix of characters. Obviously, don't take the comedy and all this other kind of stuff.
But how to handle cameos.
Right. But the fact that they were able to weave all these characters in and it made sense.
Yeah.
That was fantastic. So I agree with you. Looking forward to all this stuff too.
Dude, I feel like Wolverine and Deadpool was almost a test for Secret Wars.
Sure.
Because if you think about the premise, it's similar.
Sure.
Secret Wars, you have Battle World, which you talked about, is kind of like pieces of different universes. Deadpool, Wolverine, you got the Void.
Yep.
Very similar. Pieces of different based off of just who's sent there, right? You can see versions of characters that you've never seen before pop up because it's all different universes. Yep. And you don't need a lot of explanation because we don't care about their backstory. Right. They're here to fight, which is what happens in Secret Wars at the end. So I feel like that was a test. Like, hey, if the audience can digest this, and when you think about it was a lot, but, dude, it was just around 2 hours. It wasn't a long movie.
Right.
So if they could do that in Deadpool Wolverine, you expect the Avengers movies to be a little bit longer.
Yep.
So with an extra half hour, 45 minutes, what else could they do? And keeping that same kind of, I guess, formula they used for Deadpool Wolverine. So I feel like it was almost a test.
I agree. This is a template for conglomerated, massively complicated movies and stuff. Right. And they were able to pull it off. And you're right, there's a lot of similarities between it. So, you got the antagonist, you got the off-world, you got the, your favorite heroes jumping between different things.
Yep.
Well, we'll get into that in Deadpool. But anyway.
Yes. All while DC is just making a new logo.
I haven't even seen it. So,
dude, I got to show you. It's hysterical. It's not bad, but it was like this big reveal for. Now they took a past logo that actually worked. It was Let me show you real quick.
So are they doing like a retro Superman on the DC logo?
Yes. Did you see that or no?
No.
Oh,
I just took a guess.
It really is. It's a retro. It's a logo reveal that has a retro Superman, which I don't have that pulled up, but this is essentially the DC Studios logo, right there.
Okay.
It's just an old logo, which is probably one of their better logos from the past. I don't dislike it.
Yeah.
But it was just funny. Like that was the reveal, but it was It was the original Superman.
Yeah.
And he kind of like pops out of that circle and snaps something, and then the circle spins like a coin, and it turns into that. That's what they revealed this year.
That was lame.
You got fucking Robert Downey Jr. coming out as Doom, and they're like, "You guys want to see a logo?"
Right. Wow.
Oh man,
I actually like that logo.
Yeah, I do.
Matter of fact, in my mind, I don't even remember what the new one looked like.
I think who knows. Who knows?
You know what? It was like a Ezra Miller-esque kind of decent logo. It's like the yellow. I don't know. Yeah. It's like weird, but I like that one.
But that is the funny part. I do like the logo.
Right.
But I'm like, you know what? Like what Deadpool said read the room, bro.
Yeah.
We're dropping trailers and casting announcements, and you got Doom on stage with like 100 Dooms, and you're like, dude, look at this little logo. Right. You like it? Wow. All right. Thumbs up, thumbs down. You ready?
Let's go.
Let's recap the news and let you know if we approve or not, right? So, number one, Russo Bros back for Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars drop in May of 26 and 27 with Robert Downey Jr. starring as Victor Von Doom. I'll give this as many thumbs up as I can pop. I'm sticking my toes up too, Adrian.
Thumbs up.
Batman Caped Crusader will introduce a female version of the Penguin for some dumbass reason.
Thumbs down. Thumbs down. Thumbs down. Thumbs down. More ridiculousness.
But some good Penguin news. The Penguin set to debut on HBO and Max September 19th. DC dropped a new trailer showing this war brooding between Ozzy and Sofia Falcone. Give this a thumbs up.
Thumbs up, and thumbs up to my man Colin Farrell for coming back, knocking it out the park.
Yes. Dude, this thing feels like Sopranos almost, like some of the trailers and stuff, in a good way. Well, I love The Sopranos, but Sopranos taking place in Gotham.
There you go.
Fantastic Four First Steps announces a new title. First footage shown in Hall H, which contains a shot of a comic-accurate Galactus. Thumbs up.
Yeah, thumbs up. I'm getting over the Pasquale thing, but whatever. So thumbs up.
I think he'll do a good job.
Sure.
Sure. I understand the look right off the bat. You're like, but I think he'll do a good job. He's a great actor. The Boys prequel series announced Vought Rising with Soldier Boy and Stormfront as the main characters, taking place in the 50s. I give this a thumbs up.
I think they did. I'm going to do a thumbs down because I think they did enough of the backstory in one of the show episodes.
Okay.
In whatever
I think it was like
season.
Third season maybe.
Yeah, it's like when they've already done that. So I've seen enough of that.
All right. Peter Safran says Superman was not at the San Diego Comic-Con because it was too soon, even though the movie is being released July 11th of next year. I'm going to give this a thumbs down, dude. Come on.
Let me give it a thumbs who cares.
Okay. Giancarlo Esposito revealed to be playing Sidewinder, King of the Serpent Society in Captain America Brave New World. I mean, I guess thumbs up that he's in the movie. I don't know. Thumbs up that I get to find out about a new character that I don't know much about, but go ahead.
This is like a Trump-Hillary decision. This is a thumbs up only because it's not a thumbs down.
Got it. Deal. Okay. I like that. You never know. This is only comics, Adrian. We discuss comics and only comics.
Maybe a little something else every once in a while.
That's something else right there. All right, moving on. Now, this is where I will give you a warning if you're watching. In this next segment, it's hit or miss cast. I'm going to throw out some comic castings. There's going to be a Deadpool and Wolverine spoiler in here. Okay. So if you've not seen the movie and you don't want to have a cameo that you haven't found out about spoiled for you, you want to skip this part. All right, you ready?
Ready.
That being said, number one, Channing Tatum as Gambit.
Disgusting. Miss.
Number two, Taylor Kitsch, and I might be saying that wrong, as Gambit. This is from the X-Men Origins movie.
Taylor Kitsch as Gambit?
Yep.
X-Men Origins?
Yep, the Wolverine movie with the Deadpool mouth sewn shut.
Oh.
When they meet him in the casino.
I don't remember him.
Okay.
So.
I'll give my opinion then. How about that? We got no rules here. So Adrian don't remember them. So this is how y'all know none of this is planned. We just go, we just make it up as we go. I will say Taylor Kitsch was a hit.
Okay.
I liked his gambit.
I would say a hit only because what's his face was not a hit. Let's go with that.
Got it.
Trump Hillary decision.
There you go. Number 3, Julian McMahon as Victor Von Doom.
Now that I got Robert Downey Jr. in my head, nobody is miss.
Emma Corrin as Cassandra Nova.
That chick was psychotically awesome.
Yes.
Hit
it out of the fucking park, dude. And then last but not least, the Cloud that played Galactus.
Miss.
Notice the theme here. See, it's all based off of This Week in Marvel.
Right.
Okay? But yeah, dude, Channing, we'll get into. I'm not even going to say anything about Channing right now. We're going to say that for the Deadpool review. Taylor Kitsch, or however you say it. I thought. Now, he didn't have a comic accurate suit. This was still back in the days where, Wolverine's walking around in jeans and shit. But they had a little fight outside. Remember when Victor Creed, I forget the character's name, but Will.I.Am played the teleporting mutant, and Victor Creed grabs his spine and kills him, and then Wolverine's fighting in the alley, and Gambit is there. He's like running down the side of the building and shit. He has his little his stick or whatever he uses, but I felt like he it wasn't as over the top, obviously. Now I think the Channing Tatum one was just done as a joke. So
I hope so.
Yeah.
All right, this dude.
Yeah, remember him?
Yeah, this dude. He also played. I like this actor.
Yeah.
He played in John Carter when he goes into the. It's like one of my favorite childhood book reads.
Okay.
He played John Carter. He played something else more recently. But this is definitely a better Gambit.
Yeah.
Than Chatham, whatever.
All right, so we rewind and I say Taylor Kitsch as Gambit. Hit. There we go. That's how we do it here. Then we just went back in time. Well, you guys let us know what you think. If you agree with us, if you don't. But yeah, Emma Corrin we'll get into later. Cassandra Nova was just insanely good.
Right.
And the reason I threw the Cloud in there is I'm glad we're finally going to get a real Galactus, because Galactus is a badass character.
Yeah.
Like a world-consuming. Is he above a Celestial, or I always get it kind of.
I would say probably at the same level.
Yeah.
All those guys are probably at the same. And it's funny when you talk about Doom, but first of all, you can't bring out an improper Galactus if you're going to bring out Doom.
Correct.
The right way. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But then you also you want to include Doom in that on that playground with like the Celestials and Galactus and stuff, because Doom is just. Emotionally, mentally, psychologically, he's at that level. He just doesn't have that power, which is why he goes after Galactus and try to steal his shit.
Right.
This dude like going after like basically gods and stealing their tech and their powers and stuff like that. He gets kicked around a little bit, but he's. When you think about Doom, you think about when you think about like Galactus, you can't help but to kind of it's a little dip,
right,
down to like a Doom. Because he's just that awesome, man.
Absolutely. And one of the things I really hope we get to see, because we talk about Doom and Secret Wars, and in the 2015 Secret Wars, which, dude, after all this news, I think I'm gonna read that again this week. Like I'm getting back into that. Right. So we'll be talking some Secret Wars stuff next week. But seeing that God Emperor Doom at the end, or in the Secret Wars 2015, I hope we get to see that here. Like, if we got regular Doom and Doomsday, right? And then at some point in the Secret Wars movie, we see him evolve into Emperor Doom. I think that'd be insane.
It would be, but, that also goes to show you that regardless of your resources, regardless of your power, in the comic book world, power translate into, like, power, not just influential power. And regardless of money, Emperor Doom, with all his power, still psychologically attached to Reed Richards.
Right.
That's crazy, dude. That's something that you should have just moved on, forgot about all that stuff. You literally snatched his woman away.
He stole his life.
He stole his entire life.
His
kids and everything. That's crazy.
Yeah. Yep. So another reason why I'm glad we're getting Fantastic Four next year, and then we're gonna see them, they're gonna build into this story. They're gonna be a huge part of this.
Sure.
So a lot of fun stuff. Next, speaking of fun stuff, Adrian, your segment, the hidden gem.
All right.
What do we got going on this week?
So this week, I think this is kind of a natural thing. We just get into it because we got a lot to talk about with the movie. Cassandra Nova.
There we go.
Now, when you look her up, there's not a lot of backstory on her because they just created her.
Right.
Recently being in the last 10 years or so, I think. But basically, she is the twin, unborn, evolved sister of Charles Xavier.
2001, they created
2001?
Yep.
So basically, she was the other embryo inside the womb of, Charles and her mother. Charles detected her because he was a mutant, even at the embryo stage.
Yeah.
He tried to wipe her out. He tried to strangle her as a unborn child, right? So the backlash of that, all the psychic energy going around, was that she was assumed to be stillborn, which she was not. Somehow she ended up in a gutter. Apparently they flushed her down somewhere. She ended up growing on the walls of the sewer system, right?
Damn.
And eventually, because she has all the psychic powers that Charles has, plus some, right? Which was apparent in the Wolverine, the Deadpool Wolverine movie.
Yeah.
She evolved herself into, her own body and so on and so forth. So popped around, did a lot of malicious stuff. She is described as basically the opposite of Charles Xavier, right? Narcissistic, just basically evil. And that was portrayed. And even that level of evil, she did have not necessarily some compassion, but she wasn't pure in the execution. She did some things like, when they took the helmet off her in Deadpool, she let him live. She
spared him.
That kind of stuff. But Cassandra Nova, telepath, telekinesis, she can phase through things. I'm assuming that she can phase other people through things. Just a massively power. I would definitely an Omega level mutant, even though she's not described as one.
Well, in the movie they called her Omega.
Really?
If you remember that part where I forget who, and I won't spoil too much now, but she says, you brought an Omega level mutant to this universe, and Deadpool's like, you're welcome.
Right.
But yeah, so I guess, but yeah, she's not on the list as Omega, but they just described her as it there. So anyway.
Right. So some of her power sets, DNA manipulation. She basically can copy the DNA of copy people's DNA and use them to construct other bodies. She can manipulate. She has this thing called Jumpstart, right? So if she detects some kind of mutant gene within you, she can accelerate your mutant gene to its maximal potential.
Shit.
And of course, you don't know what that maximum potential is. So it could be something that actually harms the individual. But she can jumpstart or accelerate your mutant gene to its max potential, like instantly. And it's irreversible. Damn. So once it's there, there's no coming back from it. So you got the phasing, she got the regeneration, which we saw in Deadpool. She can track DNA, so she can duplicate and therefore track. So she figures out what your DNA is, and she can track you wherever you are, kind of a thing.
Damn.
Telepathy, cloaking. In other words, she can be standing right next to you. She doesn't make herself invisible. She can make you think that she's invisible. Mm-hmm. Mind control, mind possession. She can take over you and force your will into whatever she wants. Kind of a deal. Mind alteration. Psionic shield, so she can psychically protect herself from other telepath. Illusions. Mental paralysis, amnesia, make you forget shit, or just lock your mind up altogether. Psionic blast, mentally attacking you telepathically. Astral projection, mind transfer. She did that a couple times with her brother, where they're shooting him, but right before the shot, she transfers her body into his, and hers into his. She transfers her mind into his body, and his mind into her body.
Got it.
Which says a lot when she can do that with Charles, right?
Right.
Shirt cocking boy.
And she's not shirt cocking it.
And she's not shirt cocking it. Mental detection. She can detect the presence of other superhumans, telekinesis, and all that kind of stuff. And apparently, the only weakness that she has is, Magneto's the helmet. Okay. Either Magneto's or Juggernaut's helmet. So in other words, anything that blocks her telepathic ability. Yep. So that's the core of all of her stuff. But we saw a lot in the movie that she could do. I mean, she took the one character we'll get into later, but the one and just basically stripped all of his skin off his body. God. That was funny. Moving
would you
Wolverine through the ground and all that kind of stuff.
Seeing her in the movie and then doing the research, do you think they nailed her power set and did her justice on screen?
I think, yes, that is the short answer, but I think they did actually a better job in the movie than actually reading her power sets off her page. Oh, yeah. That was awesome, the way they were able to have her massaging around people's heads, the way she moved Wolverine underneath the ground, pulling the skin off of people's body, just all of that stuff, dude. I thought it was awesome the way they did her. So that's Cassandra Nova. I'm sure we're going to see more of her later. Yeah. But, I mean, she, like I said, she was rendered psychotically perfect in this movie. And I think the fact that, she can do those things and basically overpower Charles at some points makes her an extremely, I would put her up there with Doom, man. Yeah. As far as an adversary.
Yep. Yep. It sounds like she might, the age-old question here on Only Comics. I think she would take care of the Justice League.
I think so.
We'll find out later. Yeah. There's a segment later where we'll settle that. And if you've been with us before, we're talking about agree to disagree. We'll wrap with that in a little bit. But Cassandra Nova. I didn't know anything about this character until it was announced that she was in this movie. Right. Then we had talked about her a while back on this show when was first announced. And then seeing her portrayal here, dude, I agree. One of the top tier villains. And we don't know that she necessarily died. I mean, she could have went back to the Void or something. Who knows? But the way this shit works, maybe there's another variant somewhere out there. Right. All I know is they better have Emma Corrin play her.
Exactly.
She knocked it out of the park, dude. Yep. Yeah, power set insane. So it sounds like she's, would you say, more powerful than Xavier?
I think so. Yeah. Because they described her as having Xavier's powers plus the powers that he could have or should have or would have, kind of a deal, Yeah. So in other words, as a matter of fact, he probably detected that she was more powerful than him.
Knowing him.
And he's like jealous of half the people that's around him anyway, right? Yep. Trying to pull that spooning with Magneto and all that. So he probably tried to take her out just because he knew that she was more powerful than he was.
Yep. And she could walk, so he was jealous too.
There's that.
I'm just saying. So anyways, well, there you have it. Hidden gem, Cassandra Nova. You want to find more about Cassandra Nova? Go watch the Deadpool and Wolverine movie. See, I'm not even. Marvel don't pay us, dude. Right. We are endorsing their shit. Well, we're not. We're just spitting the truth. Because be clear, dude. If Superman Legacy comes out next year and knocks it out of the park, I'll be the first to admit. All right. I'm not gonna.
Or if it doesn't knock it out of the park, you'll hear about it here too.
You will definitely. I will be the first to admit that as well. All right, moving on. Deadpool and Wolverine, the deep dive. So this is the point we're gonna spoil everything if you've not seen it. But I got it. If you're watching us, you've seen it. Now I will say there was a couple people. I'm not gonna call them out by name, but they actually spoiled some of these cameos on our social media accounts. And if you did that, you're an asshole. That's all I say about you. No one's watched it yet. There was one on the Channing Tatum Gambit short that we put out, and we said that he's not going to knock it out of the park or whatever. Some dumbass comments like he did. Great, really? And someone else went on and listed Wesley Snipes and all these cameos. What's wrong with you? But anyways, that's my own issue. So you guys are assholes, and that's okay. Keep following us. Keep watching the movies, or keep watching our videos and stop spoiling shit. All right, Deadpool Wolverine. Movie dropped last week. Just real quick. So score-wise, Rotten Tomatoes gives it an 80%. Okay. Now, there's two scores on Rotten Tomatoes. We always talk about the critic score. That's the one that, gets quoted everywhere. There's also an audience score, which I think some theaters take this on the way out, or somehow people that have actually seen the movie, just fans, score it. From an audience score, it's 97%.
Right.
I think the audience got it right.
I absolutely agree. I was thinking definitely a 97.
97? Yeah.
After I watched it.
I'd say 95, 9.5. Like, right, it's one of the best movies, one of the most, hard when I say best movie, one of the most enjoyable movies I've watched in a long time.
Right. If you break it down by category, I mean, there are other better movies.
Sure.
But for this genre, for the amount of shit that's in it, for what it's doing, it's definitely the most entertaining movie I've seen in 20 years.
Dude, like the things, starting right from the beginning, who would have thought that something that we needed, Adrian, was Deadpool taking Logan's corpse, fighting the TVA to a backdrop of NSYNC Bye Bye Bye.
Only Marvel Jesus could have put that together.
Yes. Like if I said that to you last week, you'd be rolling your eyes.
It'd be ridiculous.
Right.
Dude, ridiculous.
But dude, I'm in the movie like, no, this is like I didn't know I needed that.
Right.
That was amazing.
Well, you still probably don't need it, but it was entertaining at the time.
But I want to see it again. Right? I do need it. But dude, I thought it was just. I will say this: the movie it was Deadpool. It was so Deadpool. Right. Like from it was Deadpool featuring Wolverine. Mm. The whole tone of it. I mean, just right off the bat, he's sitting at the grave talking about, you guys think we're not going to tarnish Logan's legacy. Oh, we are. And he digs him up. Hysterical, dude. I love like all these little things. I mean, and that was just the intro. That was the opening credits. Right. He's pulling off pieces of bones, beating people. Like, dude, when he has Logan's spine.
Oh, my God.
I think I don't even know what my favorite part of that was, but I love when he actually puts the claws on.
Right.
They come out, and then you got the Deadpool Wolverine graphic behind him. Yeah. Then he stabs himself through his own arm. Like, dude, what were you thinking in seeing that scene? Like, I mean, that's movie kicked off with that.
Right. I'm thinking like, wow, this is a lot. This is graphic.
Yeah.
A lot of things, but I was too busy laughing.
Yeah.
Dude. It was
entertaining.
It was. And just the way they put it together.
Yeah.
There were a couple of slow moments in the movie, and we'll get to those because it's way, way, way into the movie.
Yeah, yeah.
But this was not one of them.
No.
This was like, and I agree, it's like NSYNC, killing people. It's a beautiful, crazy mix of stuff that you would never think would go together, but it worked out.
Oh my God,
very well.
Yeah, I mean, hey, when you think about it, the song's Bye Bye Bye, and he's killing everyone left and right. Exactly. Like it actually fits perfect. And throughout the course of this movie, as they call them online, the needle drops when the song choice. I would say this movie rivals Guardians of the Galaxy. Like Guardians of the Galaxy always gets praise for the great soundtrack, and they use a lot of like classic rock songs and stuff like that. But I actually think this movie won up Guardians of the Galaxy from songs throughout. Some of the when my man's getting his super suit from the weird guy with the mustache, the beard, and they're playing, and he walks out and they're playing Fergie, glamorous. Like it's just so Deadpool, but it fit. Now, before we get into all the fun stuff, the overall premise of this movie: TVA. Earth 1005, that now we have established that's the Fox universe now, right? It's dying because their anchor being is gone, Logan, right? Which we saw in the logo. So now they're kind of taking all these timelines that were all over the place and making them one, which I'm fine with. That's cool. What did you think about that overall premise of we're going to take you, Deadpool, from your timeline and allow you to join the sacred timeline if you want? And that it was a little muddy for me.
I saw it as convenient.
Yes.
I mean, but it is a Deadpool movie.
Correct.
So, I mean, you got to have the main character in there doing something, right? And I like the fact that they wove it with the fact that he felt like he hasn't really been doing anything.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a psychological thing for him.
Right.
So, I mean, I didn't really overthink it because, A, it's the Deadpool movie.
Yes.
He's the main character. And sure, let's just, let your entire universe die, We'll pull you out of it and give you the opportunity to save it. So
right.
I didn't overthink it.
Got it. We needed something.
Sure.
But I think that's why watching it twice for me was great, because the first time I was kind of on that side of like, the story isn't making sense. But then the second time I reminded myself, I talked to myself, Adrian. I said, hey, dumbass, it's a Deadpool movie.
Right.
You ain't going there for the intricacies of the plot. You know what I mean? You're going there to be entertained. And I'm like, you know what? You're right. Who gives a shit why but it's happening.
Can't be any worse than Captain Falcon flying through a jet, right?
There you go. It goes back to that suspension of disbelief versus, stupid shit. And I think that's just suspension of disbelief. We don't need to know every intricate back, story as to why we're here. We just know, bro, TVA stepped up. They showed up. They took my man out of his house and, like, offered this plan for him. Yep.
And it's comics.
Exactly.
None of this shit's real.
Exactly.
So,
just because I have seen that, that's the story of the Deadpool just doesn't make sense. Like, dude, it's a Deadpool movie. Shut the fuck up.
Right.
It's kind of like Wolverine said, it's also free to shut the fuck up. Right. That also doesn't cost you anything. But yeah, I got past that quick, whatever. But what it does though, if you're able to kind of put that aside, it does create that internal dilemma, which is what a lot of the movies, he wants to save his people.
Right.
Like, it's, dude, everything because we saw earlier in the movie when he shows up to the Stark office, I thought that was hysterical too. Right. He's in the suit and he's going back and forth with Happy, and he's like, you're the chauffeur. He's like, I'm head of security. He's like, oh. And then when Happy goes, what do you say? The event, he calls him we.
Right.
He's like, well, what's your superpower? Parallel parking. That was cool.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you picked up on this part. Remember when they showed the Iron Man helmet and they had the picture of Tony behind him?
Yep. And
that picture is the one that Tony had in Endgame of him and Peter Parker. And the helmet is blocking Peter Parker. So I'm thinking one of two reasons. That scene took place, 6 years in the past. So that was a time where Peter Parker was snapped away. Right. So maybe they just didn't want to see him as a reminder. Or it goes back to this in No Way Home where everyone forgot about Peter Parker. Right. Maybe it's just he's not in the photo. I don't know. Right. So little Easter eggs like that, which was cool. What did you think of his look as the salesman, the car salesman with the toupee?
Ted Danson. That when I first saw him, and even in the trailers, I thought Ted Danson.
Yeah.
I'm like, this dude. I'm like, where did this come from? Yeah. I wonder if anybody else thought about that too.
That's funny. It was hysterical.
Does anybody even know who Ted Danson is?
Cheers? I know the name, dude. Oh yeah, Cheers? Yeah. Cheers. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
I mean, you'll see him in like a bunch of. He's like super old now, but like all the white hair with the black glasses. Yeah. But he's like in insurance.
Oh yeah, I know this guy. Yeah, he does that. Holy shit, that's funny. And now that he's older, he kind of looks like him now. So he shows up at the TVA. I thought that was cool. Yeah. Especially it's one of those things where if you've seen Loki, it adds to it.
Right.
And dude, you talk about them listening. You said this before about like I forget what you called it, Cliff Notes or something. You're like, if something happens in the movie, they should go, hey, if you watch this, it will explain, like they do in the comics. I mean, every time you see a comic in the corner, it goes, look at Avengers issue 104 for this. Deadpool actually does it. He's like, is that Goliath from Loki? So season 1, episode 5? So that just shows they're listening.
Of course.
But I like the whole setup with the TVA, him getting it explains the new suit. Because remember, one of the things we said in the trailers was, looks like his suit's more red. It's new. It's fresh. And I also love a lot of the kind of jabs at Marvel that Deadpool takes in this. Like, when Wolverine shows up, he's like, you're joining at kind of a low point.
Right.
Or the whole multiverse, he's like, let's be honest, it's been miss after miss.
Right. The Fox thing. That was, oh my God. I don't even know how they can do that legally, but whatever.
Well, they bought Fox, so.
Oh, well, there's that.
Oh, yeah, you're talking when he's at the TVA, and he's like, I'm joining the MCU. He turns around, he's like, suck it, Fox, and he, like, busts the camera. Hysterical.
Yep.
Hysterical. But, so, this gets to the Wolverine montage, where we see all these different
Oh, my God, dude.
So, the first one we see is the Short King Wolverine.
Here's the thing. The CGI was so bad. I won't say it's so bad. But it was, I don't know if they did that on purpose.
I think that one was intentionally bad.
It was like the Cavill Wolverine, right?
Yeah.
it was like this massive dude and turns around. It looks like they took Henry Cavill's face and just literally just cut it out and photoshopped it around his CGI body and stuff. It was bad, but it was comical. But in the Deadpool movie, it was like, it's okay.
Yes.
You know, it's not like a Ruffalo Hulk or something.
Right.
You're not expecting something perfect.
Correct.
And then like the little Wolverine, that was just bad. It was good
hysterical. But it also, I think that was like a shot at people like us who are like, we need a comic accurate Wolverine. Like, you really want one? Look out.
Exactly.
So, you know, I take it back.
Yeah, no.
I don't want the comic accurate. He jumps off. He's like, oh, you stuck the landing, little guy. But we see several, and this was a cool moment, and it kind of speaks to your point earlier of handling the cameos and the different versions through some, and I think I even said on one of the shows, like through a montage. And here we go. Yep. Dude, it's like they're sitting in the room with us, dude. Is Feige here? Maybe, I don't know. They got our mics tapped. Maybe
I think Milner is tapped.
Probably. Speaking of millionaire, when Deadpool first shows up in the TVA and he shows him the footage, and Thor, he's like, "Why is Thor holding me?" Right, he's crying.
Yep. And then he references that later. Yes. He's like, "Why was Thor crying?"
Yeah, like towards the end when they're coming back, like trying to kill this guy. Why was Thor crying? or Thor holds me. Every time he woke up, he'd say something about Thor. But anyway, so Short King Wolvie, we see Old Man Logan on the porch. Yep. That was cool. We saw Logan on the X Cross, which was a comic cover from, I don't know if you've ever seen that comic cover where, I've never read it. Yeah. But for some reason, Wolverine's on an X Cross.
I've seen it, but I remember the premise of it. But that was cool. Long time ago.
Yeah. We saw the Age of Apocalypse Wolverine with the hand cut off and the wild hair. Yep. That was awesome. The brown suit. You're John Byrne.
John Byrne.
And we almost see the Hulk Wolverine fight. I thought that was a cool little like Easter egg. You know? And they did the same thing. There was a comic cover where Wolverine's claws has a reflection of Hulk's face, and they did that same little shot there. That was cool. Now Calverine, as they called them, Henry Cavill. I don't want to see him as Wolverine.
No, absolutely
no.
First of all, he'd be massive.
Yeah.
It would just be it's just no.
I don't think he has a look.
Just no. But
the face doesn't look right to me.
I think I took that part as being that Cavill may show up on Marvel side at some point.
Oh and
I didn't take it beyond that.
Yep.
You know, so it was kind of like, hey, you're and you know, he even joked about it. You know, hey, you're finally here or something like that. Yeah. So I took it as that. But definitely not a Wolverine.
No, because I remember when the rumor was first popped out, I was like, yeah, I could see it. But after seeing, like, no, he doesn't have the look. The face is just not there. And I mean, he is massive, but I mean, we've seen Hugh Jackman massive at times, so I could get past the size now. But for me, he just doesn't have the look. Yeah. You know. But that was a funny little joke. What did Deadpool say, like, we'll treat you better than those assholes down the road or something. Another little DC jab. And then we saw Patch, the white suit variant. So that was cool. And then he finds our Wolverine for this movie at the bar. He's, drunk. They want to kick him out. And I thought that was a great introduction for this character. It was just so Wolverine, I really liked in that scene where he drinks till he passes out, and then Deadpool can't lift him. And he's like, wow, after 20 years. Because, dude, my man's full of adamantium. Right. And we've seen him in movies just flinged around like, he's made of glass. Yeah. That was cool. All this kind of leads up to, well, we're kind of skipping ahead a little bit, their first fight in the Void. Because one of the highlights of this movie were the action scenes and the fights.
Absolutely.
Dude, this first fight was phenomenal. Yeah. What'd you think about this?
I don't think it would have been as impactful if it was not in the minivan.
Oh, I'm talking about the one before that, when they first get to the Void.
When they first get to the Void.
When Wolverine ends up with the swords through him.
Oh, yeah.
When he's crawling on the ground.
Yeah. Okay. So that was a little stop motion for me. I mean, it was still cool.
Yeah.
But and it made sense. And that whole build up to the Sabretooth thing, that was funny.
Yes.
That was funny.
He just cut his head off.
Just cut his head off and just ended it right quick. Because I was wondering how that was going to be. So we still haven't seen a proper Wolverine Sabretooth fight.
Correct.
Right? But I think considering the thing, I think if they would have made that an extended fight, it would have taken away from the van fight.
Yes.
Which was awesome.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I wouldn't say it was missing the Sabretooth fight. I think when we first saw him in the trailer, we're going to get a real fight. But I'll take the 2 or 3 fights with Deadpool and then the ending fight with the Deadpool core over a Wolverine Sabretooth fight in this movie.
Sure.
But I really like the first fight. I do like the van fight better, but it kind of showed you what you can do when slow-mo is used properly. You don't need to apply it to the whole film, Zack Snyder.
Right.
Take notes. But in certain scenes, like the claws coming out, when Deadpool kicks the 2 clips for the gun and slides them in, that was cool. Yeah. I even love how he turned to the audience like, get ready. Like, nerds, get your special sock. Like, this is
that
like,
was funny.
But it was like so like dude, we want to see this.
Yeah,
we've been. I mean, I think one of the things knowing these 2 characters are going to be in the movie together was knowing we're going to get some cool ass fights between these 2.
And the thing about it is that the first fight was great. And the fact that he kind of prepped him when Sabretooth showed up. It's like, dude, wait a minute, you look ridiculous or whatever. The first fight was great, but then the second fight was even better. My God, that was crazy. Dude.
It was. One of the things that I noticed on the second viewing, when they first drop into the void, Deadpool's laying on the ground. Yeah. Right to the bottom left of your screen, there's an actual Secret Wars comic book. Really? In the sand, yeah.
Oh, okay.
And it's from the second, the 2015 version. So it was one of those covers. Just was there. So
there was a lot of stuff in that desert. Yeah, per se. A lot of little things. I was looking around. I definitely didn't see I got to watch it again. Did you see it the first time or the second?
I saw it the second time. Yep.
Yeah.
I saw the Shield helicarrier in the back. Yep. I'm sure you saw that. I read somewhere there was a Thor helmet. I didn't see that. Did you?
No.
I didn't see the Thor helmet. I saw the bridge from X-Men 3 when Magneto. We saw the Golden Gate Bridge in the background. Again, I think we said this before we got on. I think that's a movie where you could watch it 10 times and you're still going to see new shit.
Yeah. I think there was like on the car, there was Iron Man helmet.
Yes.
On the hood ornament or something like that. So,
and they had the Fantastic Car version of it.
They had the Fantastic Car version. Yep.
So they get through their fight, and then we see, dude, the reveal. We see this character with a hood on. Now, when you first heard did you know it was what's his name, Chris Evans? When you first heard the voice, or no?
I did not.
No, me neither.
I did not. But based on how Deadpool was getting excited and stuff, and then even the blue was misleading.
Yes. Once I saw that, I was like, "Oh shit, that's Cap."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But then it turns out to not be Cap. So the whole thing, literally up to the reveal, was just that was amazing, dude.
Even when he took the hood off, because he looked different than Johnny Storm. So you still at that point, that looks like it could be Cap.
Right.
And dude, he's going to say the words. He's going to say Avengers Assemble. He just goes, flame on. Dude, I lost it. That was perfect.
I don't understand why the Botox though, dude.
Oh yeah,
Chris Evans. I mean, come on, man. Your eyes are tiny enough. You didn't need the Botox. I don't know what was up there. That just made him look a little just kind of unreal. Yeah. But anyway, I mean, I'm nitpicking. Yeah. But it was a funny scene. Dude. And then how Pyro just took it away from
nothing,
him. Like nothing.
And it's funny because you've shit on Human Torch. Like, dude, he ain't nothing special.
And this proves it.
Right.
Dude, you ain't shit.
Pyro's just sitting there on his lunch break, oh, okay, hold on. Just absorbs all. Then he falls on the sign, split leg. Dude, that was hilarious. Yeah. And then they get captured. They go to Cassandra Nova's kind of lair or whatnot. The old giant man bot corpse, which is kind of sick.
Oh, I loved it when he said, "Oh, Paul Rudd finally aged." That was hysterical.
Yep. So I thought was really cool. You know, this whole Mad Max desert type feel, which he even alluded to. So that'd be IP infringement. And then we see them escape. I'm thinking, they're in this. Actually, no. Let's talk about the Johnny Storm death.
Yeah.
So Deadpool kind of sets him up. He says, he said all this shit,
dude. I mean, and he just couldn't recover.
No.
He just couldn't recover from that.
Dude, that was sick.
Yeah.
He's standing there, and she removes all of his skin.
Yep.
And then the rest of his body just, oh, my God.
Well, skin and muscle.
And
because
muscle.
If she hadn't removed the muscle, the entrails wouldn't have just fallen to the ground.
Correct.
She removed everything that was holding all that inside, and it just falls to the ground. I mean, even his eyes were just sitting there like, what's going on?
Right.
Bloop, pop down into a pile of mash.
Yes. Yeah, that was insane. And then they escape, was
that a Sentinel?
I was about to ask you the same question. Sentinel, yeah. I think so.
Yeah.
And the reason I went there at first, I played through, there was a Deadpool video game. It was a PS3 game, then it was remastered for the 4. And I actually have a copy of it. I played through it recently, and there is a scene in that game where you're repairing Sentinel a leg, and you and Cable do almost the same thing where you kind of fly out. So it's must be something that happens in Deadpool comics. I don't know, but that was pretty cool. So then they escape, and now throughout this, they mentioned the others. Right, there's some others in the void somewhere that are trying to that are against Cassandra Nova. Right, and then we see Nicepool.
Wow,
dude!
Wow,
he shows.
What's with the cock and ball shots?
I know, right?
The whole movie. It's like, I mean, it just got ridiculous toward the end. But what's up with that?
Oh, when the guy's creating the suit, and he keeps slapping his ass and grabbing his junk.
so nice Deadpool or whatever it was, and then when he creates the suit, he keeps slapping him, and then what's his face shows up at the end. With his junk outside of his belt.
Oh, yeah,
Peter. Oh, my God, Peter. I was like, come on, man.
Yeah, there was a lot of junk showing in this. No shirt cocking, but pretty damn close,
But okay. What was that animal that looked like a dog? What was that?
It was a dog.
Seriously?
Yeah, that's like a famous dog. Yeah, like
Jesus, that's the and
the tongue is real. Like the dog has some condition where the tongue hangs out of its mouth. Or her mouth.
Wow.
Dogpool. Yeah.
I was like, is that a giant rat or some kind of pig variant? Is that, CGI?
They gotta sell stuffed animals somehow.
This is a real thing.
It's a real dog, yeah.
Wow.
The dog was actually at the premiere with the tongue sticking out. And yeah, I'm like, dude, because I thought that was like some special effects, But the dog has some condition where the tongue hangs out of its mouth. So perfect for the Deadpool
But it's
movie.
not even that. It's just like he's skinless.
It's like skinless,
It's like little pigtail. Oh, my God.
Yep. So, I mean.
Perfect, though.
Perfect for Deadpool, yeah.
Perfect for this movie, though.
Yep. Dude, yeah, Nicepool was just hilarious. Like the complete opposite of Deadpool. Couldn't even do the fourth wall break, right? When he turned over, he called him Van Mild. He's like, oh, I can gently tap the fourth wall, too. He just turns and goes, the proposal. Like, what?
Right. That was funny.
And
the funniest thing, like when Deadpool was gonna pretend to take he's gonna take the dog, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, I couldn't get through the cornfield or something like that.
It's too dense.
It's too dense. That was the funniest. It's just moments like that, dude, like throughout the thing. I'll probably go see it again too because it's just so much in this.
Dude,
movie.
I'm trying to think of a good reason not to go see it for a third time. I'm like, I mean,
just submit and just go do it.
I just have to. Like, I'm gonna wait a few days, but it was that entertaining.
Yeah.
Like again, I've said this several times. The most fun I've had in the movie I can't even remember when, dude. Yeah, so you got Nicepool. They give him the Honda Odyssey. I love how he talks about the Honda Odyssey earlier when he's the car salesman with that couple, and then now that's what's in the void, and he don't want to get in it. Like, dude, you're in the void. It's the only car around. He's like, no, fuck that car, man.
Yep.
I love Wolverine's overall disgust with Wade for most of the movie. Like, it's just, dude, this is it. My opinion, the best we've seen Hugh Jackman as Wolverine ever, from the beginning of the movie to the end. It felt so Wolverine.
Right,
if that makes sense.
I mean, it almost got to abuse in the van though. It's like that dude was like, you could just see Deadpool like feeling all sorry and shit.
Yep.
But it was like he just went in on him.
Oh my God. Well. And the reason why earlier in the movie, we learned that this Wolverine, in his universe, the X-Men are all dead.
Right.
He was out getting drunk or whatever. Humans came, attacked, and wiped out everyone, and he wasn't there to help them, so he takes a lot of ownership. And then in that, he went out, and it sounds like he went out and killed a bunch of humans,
right,
and turned the humans against the X-Men even more. So he's looked at as like a disgrace, and he's just drinking his, his days away, right? I don't remember where I was going with that. But anyways, that was the Wolverine. Oh, Deadpool then promised him that the TVA would be able to restore his universe.
Right.
And then later on, what do you say? He goes, it was an educated wish.
Right.
And Wolverine absolutely loses it. Dude, I love Hugh Jackman's portrayal of anger on screen. Like, it's just great.
Yeah, yeah.
But then we get to that scene where he starts shitting all over Deadpool. Calls him he told him, like, you couldn't even keep a relationship together with a stripper. Like, and he gets to the, like, because you don't really see Deadpool pissed.
Right.
He's usually just having fun. Wolverine pissed him off.
Right.
And then he's like, oh, I'm going to fight you now. Oh, yeah. And they go at it.
That is, that was the highlight of the movie for me.
Really? The van scene?
The van scene. I mean, there was a lot going on.
Yeah.
But that was definitely the highlight. It was just so much. It was just the choreography.
Yep.
The intent. And then at the end, when they're done, like, Deadpool's all wrapped up in a seatbelt.
Yes.
Wolverine's knocked out. And then somebody comes and steals the van. They don't even know what's going on.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I loved it. Like, from little things like, just the claw stabs through the limbs. Every time Deadpool uses the baby knife, he goes, baby knife, and stabs them. I think both of them were thrown out of the vehicle at one point. Wolverine, I think, through the windshield. Deadpool through, like, the roof of the car.
Right. Well, Deadpool went out several windows.
Yes, yeah.
Fully through the roof, but partially through the windshield and partially through the rear. So
I like when Deadpool gets thrown out, and then you see Wolverine's hand, like, come back.
That's it.
And then, day turns to night, then turns back to day, and they finally give up. Well, not give up, but they finally, like, get exhausted and pass out.
Right.
Someone picks them up, who we learn later is Laura. Drives them to this kind of like cave almost, this hideout. I don't know if you noticed this, but the roof of the hideout was that Scarlet Witch statue from Doctor Strange. You remember when I forget what it's called, but she goes to that temple, and when they destroy the Darkhold, they realize there's another Darkhold. They go to that temple, and she sees a monument of herself, which shows that she created this place. That monument was actually the roof of this cave.
I did not notice that.
I noticed that on the
second
one.
I gotta go. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I got to go back again.
Yep. Yeah. So you'll go a second time, notice all kinds of shit. But so that's their little hideout. Wolverine's drinking the. This is where he loses the sleeves. So we answer that question in the fight with Deadpool in the van. His sleeves get shredded. Now, one is small critique. It doesn't change my opinion of the movie at all. I just think it would have looked cooler if they kept those little shoulder pad things on Wolverine like he has in the comics. He had them on originally.
Right.
But that's a small thing. He's drinking, we find out it's Gambit's liquor. And this is where everyone gets introduced. We see Elektra, Jennifer Gardner.
Still looks good.
Yep. We saw
Jennifer Gardner is like the female version of Paul Rudd, dude.
Just don't age.
Just don't age.
We see Wesley Snipes, Blade, your boy, back at it.
Man, I take that back though, dude.
He's old.
We need to move on.
Yeah. Yep. But I mean, for this purpose,
sure.
It fit. And then we see the debut of Channing Tatum's Gambit. This is like a beautiful disaster,
right?
Because now the first time I saw it, I was so distracted. I'm like, this is horrible,
right?
His big ass head in that
his
like
neck is like.
Yeah. He's huge.
Right.
Like,
and I said that. He's too big to play that character.
Right. Like, Ryan Reynolds has the body type of Gambit.
Sure.
Maybe even a little bit taller, you could be,
Yep.
You know, as the body type of freaking Gambit is Huey from The Boys. Tall, scrawny.
Yep.
Make him a little, muscular, hit the gym for a few weeks or something, but he's like that, tall, scrawny.
Garfield. Does the
Andrew Garfield? Yeah,
Andrew Garfield. He has the body type for Gambit because Gambit is like a slim.
Andrew Garfield, and he's one of those like he's a great actor too.
Yep.
So he's not just like someone who acts like Peter Parker. He can act.
Right. Oh, he's not doing anything. So I mean,
dude, that's not.
Hey,
two castings right there.
Dude,
if he's announced as Gambit in the next I'm done. I'm suing Marvel.
You're bugging us.
I'm gonna show up to their office like Wade Wilson showed up to Happy Hogan's office. Like, I want to be a part of the Avengers.
That's it.
And notice I'm wearing the Avengers hat today in honor of these great movies being announced. But we get to see now, dude. I realized that Gambit was put in this movie as a joke, right? Well, and it was so weird. Like, it was true to his character, the way they portrayed his fighting style, his powers, even the accent. Right. But it was over the top, and it was a joke at the same time.
Right.
You know?
Okay. I mean, so then I look at the him being Gambit like the CGI.
Yeah.
You know, it's a joke.
Correct.
But a horrible joke.
Yeah. So I actually, as much as the look bothered me, I kind of enjoyed just having Gambit in the movie.
I did too, and everything else fit.
Yeah.
You know, the costume, like you said, the moves, the accent was on par.
Yeah.
And I love the fact that, you know, Deadpool made so much fun about it. Like, dude, who's your dialect coach?
The minions? That was hysterical. Yeah, he kept saying, like, I don't know what he's saying.
Right.
Like, yeah, and there was all this, like, kind of meta commentary on these characters because a lot of these, they didn't really get a true ending, right? Like, Elektra Jennifer Garner debuted in the Ben Affleck Daredevil movie. Right. Got one movie of her own. That was it.
Right. Blade. Did she say something like that? Was she talking about Ben Affleck or Daredevil? Yes. Or her response? It's like, it's okay.
It's okay because they got divorced. They were like, that was a funny joke.
Yep.
And then even, you know, Blade, there's a lot of people that feel that he should have gotten more films, you know, not now, but at the time, right? And then Gambit is the one where it was rumored. A lot of fans wanted that casting. And I think even when it was rumored, because I feel like Channing Tatum's got bigger over the years. Like, he's put on mass.
He's like The Rock. I mean, he's just gotten massive and more massive because so you got, back in the day, you had like the Bruce Willis, which was the smallest of the trio. Then you got Sylvester Stallone. Then you got Arnold Schwarzenegger, right?
Yep.
So there hasn't really been a replacement for those characters other than The Rock, who has just gotten more and more massive over the years. So I think some of these guys are beefing themselves up to be those action heroes per se.
Because I feel like there was a time where maybe Channing Tatum would have fit the part, like years when he first started kind of this popularity or whatnot before the Magic Mike days, right? Which is, I think, when this was announced. So he kind of even made a point like, I don't even think anyone knows about me. Like, he made some comments of like never getting even started. Right. But I thought it was cool to have these characters kind of get their ending, and they talked about it a little bit. We're finally going to get our ending. And
they did, and right in front of Paul Rudd's giant
head.
Yeah,
they did. I like, too, how, you know, Wolverine's drinking his liquor. He's like, you should ask. And he just, you know, destroys it with the car, which is very true to their relationship in the comics. They've kind of had this, like, love-hate dynamic. So anyways, they comprise this plan of we're going to go back to Cassandra Nova's little hideout and force her to bring us back into the real world or back into our universe. We mentioned Juggernaut. So funny thing, it was not Vinny Jones.
Thankfully.
But it was another character, another actor made to look like Vinny Jones' version of the Juggernaut.
But I think he looked better than the Vinny Jones actor, though.
Yeah, absolutely. Still kind of weird looking costume. I prefer the CGI Juggernaut from Deadpool, actually. But they go back, and dude, I love when everyone's ready to go back, and Wolverine's like, "Oh, you guys are all gonna die." Right. Deadpool's like, "Dude, read the room." Like,
yep.
Then they pile into the Honda Odyssey. They drive back. They're coming in, and at this point, T.I. Bring 'Em Out's playing. I thought it was a cool little, you know, needle drop, as they say. See, I'm up with the slang, Adrian. The great needle drop.
I have no idea what you're saying, though. Who's your dialect coach?
Yeah, the fucking minions. They show up and they make you think that. Actually, let me backtrack. There was a nice little scene. You know, we talked about eye sweat in comic movies.
Right.
I don't know if there was a scene. There was any eye sweat here. I think the closest that even came to something like that was Wolverine and Laura interacting. You know, because of the whole death. But it was. And I wouldn't say no eye sweat, but just like there was some emotion there with the whole. You know. You kind of saved me because of you. I had a life and these other kids. Like I like that little moment by the fireplace.
No, the closest I'll call it for me was when Wolverine went in on Deadpool, because you just like
you felt bad for him?
Because you think like you see a fight, right?
Yeah.
Like in what was it, Edward Norton in that movie? No.
Fight Club.
Fight Club.
Yeah.
When you know, they start fighting, everybody's cheering on, and then one guy is down, and the other guy just keep beating him. And then it's like, damn, dude, just stop. So that's as close as it got it for me.
Oh, so yours was you kind of felt bad for Wade.
Yeah. It's like
got
you got this clown, and you just don't see this vulnerable side to him until something happens, and then you do, and then now you know why you never see the vulnerable side of it, because it's not a good look.
Right. I gotcha. Yeah, I like the campfire scene. I thought it was a cool little, callback to Logan.
She's bigger than she was before.
Yeah, it's all grown up, dude. Yeah. And dude, I think she knocked it out of the park too. Sure. Like she was, very minimal role, but her in the fight scenes and dude, she takes out Juggernaut.
Yeah.
Like cuts his freaking ankle. That was awesome. So anyways, they show up, hop out the minivan. They make you think Wolverine's not there.
Hold on. Before that,
the
funniest scene. I'll always be Blade. There would be no other Blade. And Deadpool
he just looks like
yeah, I don't think so, dude.
or when Wesley Snipes first shows up, he goes, "I thought you were retired." He goes, "Retarded?" It's like, no, I'm already in the void. I'm not trying to get canceled. And then there was rumors that Wesley Snipes didn't get along with Ryan Reynolds on set for the Blade movie. And they even kind of allude to that, like that, he goes, "I don't like you." He goes, "Oh, you never did." So it's when I also read that Ryan Reynolds reached out to, basically he put a lot of these cameos together. He texts Wesley Snipes like, "Dude, would you want to come back?" Yeah. And even there was the Chris Evans one, like, "Dude, what do you think about playing Human Torch?" And he's like, yeah, like they were in. It was cool. Good thing that, and I like this. They asked Chris Evans about playing Captain America. He's like, "No, I don't think about it." Like, "Do you ever think about coming back as Cap?" He's like, "No, I don't."
Wow.
Which I think that's cool. Let the character rest. Now, who knows? With Secret Wars, would I be saying the opposite? Who maybe have him show up? I don't know. But yeah, we on the way to going to fight Cassandra. They do poke fun at the whole Blade being recast.
Yeah,
I love it because Wesley's like just aloof to it. Like, I'm the only one.
Yeah.
But they get there, they pop out. Wolverine comes out the back of the van.
He looks massive crawling out of that van.
Yes.
It's like, that's when you get the full understanding of how tall he is as a Wolverine, dude. I mean, he just comes out and he looks like he unfolds to like twice the width of that minivan.
And dude, phenomenal shape. Yeah, like for this movie. And if anyone, y'all, like, first of all, how old is he? 55 or 6 or something like that?
I don't know.
So if anyone go, "He's doing that because he uses steroids," shut the fuck up. Right. I don't care if he uses steroids. He looks amazing. Right. He put in some hard work, diet, and phenomenal.
And that's the thing about it is people think, "Oh, steroids," and the steroids do
just
all
magic,
the cuts and stuff. No. You still got to put in the work.
Exactly. Yep. So no, phenomenal shape for that movie. And Ryan Reynolds even jokes throughout, like, they're gonna make you do this till you're 90.
Yeah, he did that like twice.
Yes. Yep.
90.
I like to in that first fight, when Wolverine's like low to the ground and he's literally running at him, like dude, that's Wolverine. Yeah, Wolverine ain't gonna run at you like he's playing like a football kickoff, So big old fight breaks out. I like this fight, dude, in the little Cassandra's hideout or whatnot.
That was a slow moment for me. The slow moment was when they spent too much time, seconds count.
Yes.
Right. They spent too much time on the wide shot when Wolverine gets out.
Yeah.
And then before the fight actually starts, it's like, come on, dude, just move it along. So that was kind of a slow moment for me.
Okay. But dude, I think that shot was awesome with the 4 or 5 of those guys there. Who would have thought Gambit, Wolverine, Deadpool, Blade, and Elektra, and X-23 all in this,
yeah, the shot was nice.
Yeah.
Too long.
Which funny, I think there's a point where Deadpool looks back at the screen and go, "Don't worry, guys, we're wrapping it up." Like,
right.
Or there's something else that was taking a while, and he's like, "Oh, don't worry, guys, they're used to long wait times."
Yeah.
Fight takes place. And we'll kind of jump to where the plan is they're going to get Juggernaut's helmet. Mm-hmm. They're going to put it on Cassandra Nova and force her to bring them back to their world. And we see that, X-23 takes care of Juggernaut. That was a sick little scene where she cuts the back of his feet, right? Mm-hmm. And grabs his helmet. She's getting ready she's climbing up with the backpack. Dude, I love that she put the glasses on from Logan. How cool was that?
Yep.
The little shades that she stole from the store.
I actually didn't think about that, but yeah, that was pretty cool.
And then she had her backpack.
But go back. So I didn't think that was possible for her to slice through Juggernaut's because Juggernaut's unstoppable
when he's running.
When he's in motion, you're right. When in motion, you cannot stop him.
Correct.
Yeah, but you have to. But still, though, dude. I mean, you got to think he can like withstand a nuclear blast, but then some child cuts his feet off.
Adamantium, bro.
I don't know.
Yeah, man,
that just kind of caught me.
Yeah,
like I got to look into that. Just kind of
caught
me.
We had to do the math on that,
right?
Because I don't know. I know that Juggernaut running is unstoppable.
No,
I don't know.
He doesn't have to run. Just start walking.
Okay, in motion.
Right.
Got it. I don't know if he's impenetrable.
Right.
I don't know about that because she does cut his ankles from behind. So who knows? Anyways, it was a sick looking scene. His ankles just slice up, and then he falls forward. Takes the helmet. She's, trying to bring it up to Deadpool and Wolverine. I mean, at this point, Cassandra Nova's fucking them up. Right. Deadpool's up in the ceiling somewhere. And then one thing we hadn't talked about is her skull fucking everyone.
Right.
Dude, that was sick.
Yeah.
And then fingers in the face.
That was creepy.
Yeah.
That was a little creepy.
And it was done well. Like, it looked sick, you know? And then this is when she's digging into Wolverine's psyche, and we kind of find out about what really happened with the X-Men and whatnot.
Right.
But even this, like Wolverine being mind controlled, he basically sets her up because she's like, lose to the fact that, I got you. Like, oh, no, you don't. And then
something like that.
Some shit like that. But X-23's running up. She gets stopped by someone, but then
somebody lassos her.
Oh, yeah. Was that
down.
Psylocke, maybe?
I think so.
I think I read somewhere Psylocke was in it. Which was very like under the cover, and they didn't have the costume that she wore in Apocalypse. But anyways, it may have been Psylocke or Callisto, one of those. But brings her back down. Deadpool gets the helmet. He slaps it on Cassandra Nova. Her, she stops her kind of hold over Wolverine. And this is a funny little scene. She's like, if we let you go, will you, bring us back? It's like, oh, no, I'll kill both of you. So it's like, why are you like that? She's like, I don't know. Which is just like so true to that character. Right. And then Pyro double crosses her. I love how his cell phone, like he just calls out of the void to the TVA, like, hey, what's up? It's like that, the Ronald Reagan calling the moon.
Exactly.
But, this is what you talked about earlier, where as much as she's evil, she's sadistic, Pyro shoots her. And Deadpool Wolverine basically save her because she can't heal with the helmet on.
Right.
And then I love this too. Pyro starts like going off. Wolverine punches him and goes, "Not everybody gets a speech."
That's it. I also liked his dialogue about. When he said that she was like. He was like, she went to reach down to get into his skull. Like, why is he doing this?
Oh, yeah.
He's like, come on, you don't have to do this. Just ask.
Yeah,
just
like,
ask.
Why don't you just ask?
Right.
Yeah, that was funny.
That was pretty cool. But she didn't kill him either, though, right?
She did when they came back through the portal. Remember, she had his head.
Oh, yeah.
And then she snapped his neck.
Yeah.
So she feels some compassion for Wolverine and Deadpool for about 15 minutes.
Right.
She spares them. And then she mentions a magician came through here recently.
And she was just saying that like he was some guy that would show up to your kid's birthday party or something, right?
And it's Dr. Strange. Like, that just shows you how badass she is. She's like,
exactly.
Oh, some like parlor, magician came through and I killed him and wore his skin around for a few days. Like, what?
What is it? Silence of the Lamb shit. Right
Yes. And she has this little sling ring.
Right.
And this one had it looked like a couple Infinity Stones on it. So who knows what version of Strange came through there.
But that only goes to show that she could have gotten out anytime she wants to. She can go wherever she wants to go, whenever she wants to go. She chose to be there.
Yeah. Which she even kind of said at one point. So I think one of the characters, like, why are you here? Like, I want to be here. This is home. Like, she's running shit here.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, do you want to be in the universe and just be some bum, or do you want to be running shit in the void? Well,
I don't know what her power said. She could have been running the show wherever she went.
Yep. So she lets them go. Pyro double crosses, shoots her, a couple times, and then he gets knocked out. She opens up the portal, and of course, to have fun with them, she waits till Eliath is almost right there, and then they jump through the portal. That was a little dragged out too, slow motion.
Right. But then all the heroes on the ground watching them, and then they get the assumption is they get killed by this thing coming in.
They get their ending.
Their ending.
Yeah, which I thought that was cool. Sure. It was like it's when you think about it, these individuals from the Fox universe are sacrificing themselves for Deadpool and Wolverine to move on, right? It was, there you go. Yeah. It was a cool little moment.
Yeah.
Deadpool Wolverine popped back out.
It's like in Rundown when The Rock, the bar scene, The Rock is walking out and then Schwarzenegger's walking in. Yep. So it's like a baton toss of action stars or something.
Yep. And then we get to the Deadpool core. Phenomenal scene, dude. This scene was insane. And this is another thing, like I mentioned earlier, Deadpool with Logan's corpse killing everyone to NSYNC. I didn't know that I needed.
Right.
I also didn't know I needed Wolverine and Deadpool killing or fighting the Deadpool core to the backdrop of Madonna's Like a Prayer through a bus. Like, I didn't know I needed that either, but that scene was phenomenal.
Right. There was so many, like, some of the Deadpools, like, their guns were, like, jamming and they didn't know what to do, and they just getting wiped out. But I'm surprised. So I guess the hidden thing in this was that his real wife, Blake Lively, was female Deadpool.
Yeah, she did the voice.
So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, which we predicted.
Now, she wasn't actually in the costume, was she?
No.
Okay, because I was going to say, I know Blake Lively ain't got nobody like that.
Actually.
Does she?
Look at the Deadpool. So at the Deadpool Wolverine premiere, Blake Lively dressed up in a red Deadpool colored dress, and then I think it was Gigi Hadid dressed up in a yellow one. It's just like her friend, nothing to do with the movie, and it was like that. But yeah, dude, they did it side by side. It's pretty accurate.
Okay.
So kudos to Ryan Reynolds, but yeah, she voiced her, didn't actually play her.
Okay.
And then the little girl, Kidpool, the one that said, if I want your opinion, I'd take Wolverine's out of your mouth. That's their actual daughter.
Oh, really?
And then the fucking baby is their other kid, too.
Oh, wow.
So they had a whole family affair.
Hey, there you go.
Which is good. Kind of reminds me of like Adam Sandler, where it's like it just has like all of his friends and shit. Just Ryan Reynolds. I just have my whole family in the movie. Why not?
Sure.
But yeah, dude, that scene, and then we see the Wolverine
bring down that taxable income.
Yes, there you go. There you go. We then see the Wolverine mask for the first time. Now, I will say, at first, it threw me off. I was like, it looks kind of big.
It looked and maintained its erection throughout the whole thing for me, because it was just massive through the whole thing. And then the white eyes, it was distracting.
Really?
Yeah.
I loved it, dude. Yeah. I absolutely loved it.
There you go.
And that's the thing where, I'm not upset that you didn't love it. I'm not going to storm out of here. It's a lesson for y'all who are watching. I don't agree with what he said. Big fucking deal. Who cares? But dude, I absolutely loved the mask. I thought it was awesome. Yeah. And I think it proved that white eyes work, and I hope we see a Batman with white eyes at some point.
That'd be something.
I mean, you're looking at him right here, right? He's got what's that? White eyes, right? In all the comics, right?
All the comics.
Like, I think it would work if done like this. This worked for me, dude. Only thing it was missing was the shoulder pads.
Right. Make when you do the white eyes on Batman, make the cowl so he can rotate his neck. Though.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. Which they have done now. He's talking shit about like the old Michael Keaton one, dude. He had a damn tire on his neck.
Yep.
But dude, this scene when they're running through. Actually, backtrack. He also sacrificed Nicepool. Remember, he wanted the gold guns, and he's like, over my dead body.
Yep. That was so funny how he did that, man. He just like took old boy out, take his shit.
And what's funny is like, even though Wolverine and Deadpool kind of like patched this up, Wolverine's still like annoyed with him most of the time. It's like, dude, what is wrong with you? Like, you did that on. No, I didn't. And he's like, there's a donut cart. That's pretty much like a triage. Let's go over there. And Wolverine's like, no, it's not. And then he just stands holding him. Then he blow up his head, and he's like, it's sad what happened to him. He's like, yeah, it's called murder. Also, he can get the gold pistoleros,
Wow.
But yeah, dude, they ran through all of those Deadpools. I mean, it was the side-by-side view. It looked almost like a video game, right? Where they're in the bus. Dude, that shot of Wolverine jumping out of the bus and before he tripped and fell. Right. Dude, that was awesome. Yep. There was some of the most cool-looking visual shots. Right. And not to, beat on Snyder Cut, but it goes to show you that you can do that and not have a 4-hour drawn-out, depressed session. Right. You can do it in a fun movie. And stay more true to the comic itself. Exactly. Because those are iconic gestures and moves and, things like that. So. Yep. Dude, but whoever designed that new Deadpool suit, man,
those suits were awesome.
Yes.
They were just phenomenal.
Yeah. So I always liked the Deadpool, but they were
Superman.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you got to get that guy with the weird beard.
They were too busy making the new logo to focus on his Superman costume.
I still can't. They're like, Marvel's like, we're dropping, Wolverine, Deadpool. We got Avengers Secret. We got all this shit. These guys got a logo.
Right.
Here's my logo we made, guys.
It's an old logo.
Yeah.
So they just dusted off and brought it back out. It's just like, dude,
I like it.
You sacrifice Superman costume for this shit?
James Gunn, read the room. It's not the week to release the logo. You just go, we have nothing, guys.
Exactly.
Just go, we get this nice logo. And then they made a video explaining why they picked the logo. We don't need, why you picked it, because it's a good-looking logo. Shut up. Make the movie.
So I chose Dunkin' Donuts this week because nobody gives a shit.
Nobody cares. And then the baby's laughing. They wiped out everyone because he turns back around. And the reason was a big deal was the Nicepool didn't regenerate. Right. Because he asked him, he's like, how long take you to regenerate? He's like, oh, I don't. He's like, oh, shit. And then the baby's laughing after they wipe out all these Deadpools because they regenerate. And then my man Peter Poole shows up.
Here we go with the cock and balls again.
Right?
It's like, dude, I mean, he was like literally wearing his almost outside of his suit, stuffed up behind his belt and stuff. I'm like, wow.
That was crazy.
It was a lot. It was a lot.
And this is one of those things that you just accept for the Deadpool movie. Right. So Peter Poole shows up, everybody stops, and it's all cool. Yeah. Whatever. Cassandra Nova shows back up, and this is the scene where she's got Pyro's head.
Hold on, but before you go back. Yeah. So so if the portal closed when Deadpool and Wolverine jumped through it, so she opened it so she can come through, and then left it open for. I mean, I understand it's a Deadpool movie, but where did they come from?
Oh no, she left it open because the Deadpool Corps were there for her, so she brought them and told them to keep these guys back.
Oh, okay, got it.
And then. She obviously underestimated Peter Poole's influence. He shows up and stuff, which it's stupid, but it goes to that whole we see in the Spider-Verse where every Spider-Man has an Uncle Ben and every Spider-Man has an MJ. Well, every Deadpool seems to have a Peter, and
every Deadpool loves Peter apparently, enough to stop this fucking World War III going on.
Absolutely. Then they go down to the subway. They just happen to have their TVA set up right in the corner of the subway where anyone can access. That's okay. They have this time. We didn't really bring up the whole time ripper. I mean, it's just like as Deadpool put it, a MacGuffin, just a plot device.
Oh, but before you go down into the subway, Nova going into the subway, dragging this dude through his skin.
Oh yes,
that was epic. Dude.
Paradox.
It's just dragging him boom, 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 boom down. That was cool. That was
sick. Yeah, and through his mind, she figures out how to use this time ripper. Basically, a time ripper. Paradox in the beginning of the movie is tasked with watching this universe kind of kill itself over a few thousand years. He wants to speed it up. They build this time ripper. It's going to wipe it out like that. Right. Kind of like the old TVA stuff we saw in the first season. And then Cassandra Nova gets a hold of it, and she wants to wipe out every reality except for the Void. Right. Kind of like, fuck all you guys. I'm going to be almost on some Doom type, Battle Word type shit almost, right? So of course, the only way to stop this is to go down there and sacrifice yourself. Wolverine and Deadpool have a little exchange where they're fighting over who's going to go sacrifice. Kind of reminds me of the Hawkeye, Black Widow, thing, except funnier.
And a little bit more drawn out. It was a little drawn out.
Especially when he shuts the door on him and he keeps coming back to wave by. And this is talk about the Madonna song. They also had different versions of it with the choir, and that's kind of building up the feel of this scene. Deadpool's in there. He grabs one side's matter, one side's antimatter. Supposedly, if you cross these two, it's going to screw up everything up top and whatever. So he's got a hold of one side, and then he's pulling these cables out, trying to reach the other cylinder.
You mean Deadpool?
Deadpool.
You said Wolverine.
Oh, okay. Deadpool's pulling these cables out. Wolverine shows up, grabs his hand, sticks his claws on the other side, and then this is just funny. The antimatter and shit's going through them, and for some reason it disintegrates Wolverine's shirt, just his shirt,
and not Deadpool's any part of his suit.
Deadpool's costume's fine. Wolverine's shirt, the mask is still intact. Right. The pants is the boot, everything's good except for this shirt. Also, we can just show how jacked fucking Hugh Jackman still is, which was cool.
And even Deadpool's looking like,
oh, that was hilarious.
It was funny.
They got, to your point, they got a close up on the abs,
right?
And Deadpool's looking over like, oh yeah.
I mean, obviously some of that's CGI, but the dude is still jacked.
Oh my god, yeah. And then that, then blows everything up. We all think that they're dead. Paradox goes down there. He gets caught by Hunter B something from Loki.
Yep.
And I think if I remember right, at the end of Loki season 2, she's kind of put in charge of the TVA.
Right.
She shows up and he's straight up lying to her. He's like, oh man, they sacrificed themselves and blah, blah, blah. And then another great needle drop, bro. Goo Goo Dolls, Iris starts playing, and Wolverine and Deadpool are walking out, shirtless, jacked. Like, that was another cool shot. Like, seeing them with the mask and just jacked with the claws. Like, dude, I love when there's scenes that just look like they came right off of a comic book page, and we saw several of them in this movie. Like, with the whole team up. I know you said it was drawn out, but that last scene looks like something right off the pages.
Well, the team up wasn't drawn out. Just that pause before they started fighting, I thought was a little long.
Yeah, but them standing there looks like something you see in a panel. I mean, Wolverine crouched over before he fights Deadpool. Like, there's so many little, them jumping out of the back of the bus looked like a comic panel. Yeah. But this was another one. So, they come out, kind of save the day. Paradox gets, they realize he was full of shit. And then Peter shows up, dude, and what's her name? Hunter B15, some shit like that. She's just
all right. Let's skip that.
She's enamored by
it's bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, come on, dude. You got Wolverine here with his shirt off, and she's checking out Peter Pool. Come on, must be those.
I don't even want to get into all that, man.
Movie ends with them having shawarma, which is a throwback to the Avengers. Remember at the end of the Avengers movie, Tony's like, I want to get some shawarma. I don't even know what it is.
I don't
know. They're all eating at the end of the post-credit scene. You kind of see the same thing here. Yep. Wolverine, goes back to Deadpool's apartment. So, and I mean, when they go through everything, but great ending. Right. It kind of, the whole theme of this story, or at the end for me, was like, it's going to take both of us together. It was kind of a movie about friendship in a way, like a weird way. Like, you get these two oddballs stuck together. In the beginning, Deadpool's kind of using Wolverine. He can't stand it. Then they're at odds. Then Wolverine kind of caves, and it's like, dude, they helped each other in a way.
Right. The swarmer scene before that freaking whatever that animal is shows up. And Deadpool's like, am I going to see you again? He's like, never, or something like that. In other words, like, more movies. Right. Like, no. But we'll see.
Dude, listen, last week I had said we were talking about recasting, right? And I said, you can recast Wolverine, definitely.
Right.
Right now, you can, but it's going to take a while.
Right.
I think prior to this movie, like, it's been long enough since we've seen Logan, I'd have been okay with it. Right now, dude, until they're done with Secret Wars, I don't want to see another Wolverine.
I agree with that. Definitely, because it had been some time since we last saw Wolverine. Then we saw him dying, over in Logan or whatever. They could have recast him, Anthony Starr. But now seeing him reprise that role, definitely just take him till he's 90.
He knocked that shit out of the park. I don't want to see anyone else play Wolverine until all this is wrapped up, and then it needs to be a completely different take on Wolverine. Yeah. I don't want to see someone cosplaying as Hugh Jackman. Right. And I think that's the issue with, like, someone like a Henry Cavill. It's just going to feel like you're playing Hugh Jackman's Wolverine. Right. I don't need to see that. We got Hugh Jackman. Just let him do it. Yep. But, dude, all in all, Ice 9.5 all day. Yeah. One of my favorite.
I'm a little bit higher. I'm at 9.7. Yeah. Even with all the math things that I do, those things don't take away from me the overall entertainment value of the movie or the impact of the movie. Nope. So I definitely enjoyed it.
Yeah, I think, the weakest part of it are some of the plot points, but the comedy, the action, the scenes, the fights, everything else is like a 15 on a scale of 10, so it kind of evens itself out, if that makes sense.
I even suggested somebody to go see it. They wear like some kind of diaper or something, dude, because you're just going to be constant laughing, but then you don't want to get up.
Correct.
If you get up to go to the bathroom, assuming that nobody's in line in front of you, you're going to miss so much by the time you come back. It's just so much happening in this movie.
dude. It was done right.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it was done right. So, well, there you have it. Deadpool Wolverine deep dive. We're going to wrap up with some agree to disagree and take this thing home, Adrian.
Let's do it.
I got 9 opinions of mine that I came up with. A lot of these like last night, dude. A lot of these are based off of Deadpool Wolverine, so spoiler there.
All right.
I'm going to
probably some just a few minutes ago.
You're damn right. There's a few that were just added as we were talking today. So I'm going to rapid fire these at you, Adrian.
All right, let's do it.
You're going to let me know if you agree or disagree. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Number 1, Deadpool and Wolverine is the best Deadpool movie.
Agree.
But it's not better than Logan.
Disagree.
All right. Channing Tatum should fold on playing Gambit ever again.
I agree.
Look how I did that. Fold the card. I want to over-explain to people. Fold, because when you fold, you're out of the game.
You've already over-explained it.
Mission accomplished. Here you guys, stay with me on this one.
All right.
Deadpool and Wolverine is the most Wolverine we've ever seen Wolverine on screen.
Agree.
Great. You see that?
Right.
The math is mathing, Adrian.
Hey, there you go.
It's not a competition, but Marvel just mopped the floor with DC at the San Diego Comic-Con this past week.
DC wasn't even on the playing field. Agree.
Deadpool and Wolverine is the funniest MCU movie to date.
Agree.
Robert Downey Jr. is perfect for Dr. Doom.
Agree.
Cassandra Nova could solo the Justice League.
Agree.
And last but not least, Deadpool is Marvel Jesus, and the MCU is back.
Deadpool or Ryan Reynolds?
Deadpool.
Deadpool? Okay, I'll go with that.
All right. So you agree.
Agree.
And the MCU is back.
And the MCU is back.
There you have it. See, we shoot them straight. We give MCU a lot of shit here at times. But
sometimes you got to break it down, make sure we're talking about the same thing. But
correct.
Yeah, we good. We good.
But, dude, I tell you what, after seeing this movie, seeing these announcements, seeing the stuff on stage, I'm looking more forward to the next few years of Marvel movies more than I have. I mean, the last time I was this excited for what's to come was when Infinity War and Endgame was announced.
Right.
This
movie was so good. Just us sitting here talking about it makes me want to go to the movies again and watch it.
If I didn't have so much shit to do at home today, I would go there right now. I promise you that. I'm literally thinking like the movie's this long. Like, I'm going to see it for a third time. I promise you. I have to.
Yeah.
This is one that when it's released, I will rewatch it when I'm bored, just over and over again.
Yep. Absolutely. I agree.
Like, I do think that this movie has more rewatchability than most. Like, I on the way here today, I was thinking, like, what Marvel movies have I watched more than others? Infinity War is one I've seen more than most.
Right.
Civil War, Thor Ragnarok, and then maybe No Way Home, But in all those, like, this movie, I think I will rewatch more than any of those.
I'll rewatch this movie more because I know that there's stuff that I missed. Matter of fact, you've brought up some things that I missed, and I know that there's more.
Oh, yeah.
So that's, besides the entertainment value, I know I'm going to watch a whole different movie by watching the same movie.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, dude, I think it just proves the point that the movie doesn't need to be for comic movies, doesn't need to be the best movie ever. It just has to be entertaining, fun, and make sense. Right. And I think this hit on all. Yes, there were certain aspects that didn't make the most, but all in all, it was so much damn fun. I didn't even care.
Right.
So, well, there you have it. That's our review. That's our agree to disagree. That's our show. If you like what you saw today, hit the subscribe button, shout us out on TikTok. Dude, TikTok is, and actually, if you like this, Deadpool Wolverine deep dive, I did a Road to Deadpool Wolverine a few weeks ago.
Okay.
It broke down, you remember this, from why we even got here. And it went over huge on TikTok. I think as of today, it's like 300,000 views. Mm-hmm. They loved it. A lot of people, I want more of this. So we will bring you more of that type content when it makes sense. I'm not going to force it, but when there's a story to be told, I will tell you in my voice.
There you go.
But if you like this, if you've seen the movie, if you've not seen the movie yet, go to our TikTok, go to our YouTube, check out this Road to Deadpool Wolverine.
There you go.
Check out all of our past stuff. Go to onlycomicsmerch.com, support the show. You get this amazing shirt. You get that amazing hat that Adrian's wearing right there. But Adrian, thanks for coming out, dude.
Absolutely, man.
This has been fun. This was almost as fun as the movie. You know?
Right? Almost.
So
the big question is, did you buy a bucket?
Dude, I forgot. No, I was so pissed, Adrian.
Right?
They were sold out.
No, wait a minute. I walked in, and the only thing they had was this chair thing.
Okay.
They didn't even have either one of the buckets that we saw in the previews. They didn't have the Wolverine one.
Nope.
They didn't have they had this Deadpool variant where it looked like he was sitting in a chair.
Yep.
And it had like some compartments in the back that you can put a cup in and some shit like that. But it was sold out.
Sold out, dude. Well, I guess we've seen these popcorn buckets, but they never said which theaters. So every theater kind of had their own version. But
I did say Connecticut was probably going to ban the Wolverine one.
It could be that.
Could be that.
Or did they only ship like 5 of them? Because I went to the first showing. I think there was a 3D showing that was a half hour before us. So I think those assholes bought up everything.
Okay.
So
then that means I got there a little bit before you because they had probably 10 or 15 of them there when I got there.
Oh, dude. Nope. You must have got there a few minutes before because when I saw somebody with them.
Right.
But I asked them like, no, we're all out. Like,
people were going in there, not even going to watching a movie. They just because the guy that
that's what happened.
The guy I asked the guy when I was coming to the theater. It was like right at maybe. So I know that the 3D hadn't let out yet. Yeah. So I got there probably 45 minutes, half an hour before everything started because I expected the parking lot to be full. I expected the concession stand to be all wrapped up.
Yep.
But I'm getting there, and this guy is leaving with one of the Deadpool buckets. Dude, and I'm like, dude, what is that? Where you get that? Oh, dude, you got to go buy this. So he just walked in, bought it, and left.
That's ridiculous.
So
you
a lot
people,
of that happened too.
You people, you're just as bad as the guy who's spoiling the cameos. Y'all are assholes.
There you go.
You should have to buy a movie ticket to buy the bucket. That's bullshit.
Nope.
You know what? So, hey, if anyone's watching, wants to send us one, let me know, dude.
Something.
Matter of fact, if you send us a Deadpool bucket, I'll send you a T-shirt and a hat.
There you go.
So, anyone out there, all for stands.
There you go.
Only if you're not one of those.
Anyone, like everybody, or just like the first?
The first one. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. So if you send yours late, you ain't getting shit.
You have like 1,000 buckets up.
Yeah, don't just send it. You got to coordinate. DM me on TikTok, and if you send us one, I will send you a shirt and tee.
There you go.
Just don't be one of those assholes that bought it and didn't see the movie. Unbelievable. What the fuck is wrong with people? See, I was trying to leave on a high note. You got me all pissed off now, Adrian.
Hey, it happens sometimes.
It does happen sometimes. I'm going to fight someone in my car.
But we're not mad at each other.
No, we're not. Nope. So, Adrian, thanks again for coming out.
Man.
Guys, thanks for tuning in. You know where to find us right here on YouTube, on Spotify, and TikTok every week. We'll see you next week on Only Comics.
Peace.